It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
So where's the office, back at division? In the office, baby. Going out.
All right, back in business on what we can now officially call a Football Friday. Not the Football Friday, but a Football Friday. Rothman and Ice. Ice went on his last little spell. Scotty Vegas to my right. And we welcome in brand new producer, Cole, to the program. Cole is here, and he is ready to go. He is the Bay Area Rapid Transit because he is Cole Bart. So that's what I'm going to call you from now on, Bay Area Rapid Transit. I may have to shorten that over the years, but good to have you, my man. Tell the folks we brought you back home to the great state of OHIO and even locally to Central Ohio.
Yeah, that's right. So born and raised here, Dublin kid, went to Ohio State, did all that. Been spending the past couple of years doing radio in St. Louis, and I've been wanting to be here. So, man, it's really good to be back.
Nice, bud. Good to have you, man. We'll have a fun show today on a Football Friday. Scotty?
Yes.
Good to see you, my man. You're all loosened up. You're as loose as cream corn. I saw the putting stroke, and you're already making bets and handicapping things. We're going to do a little, like I like to call, prop, fizz today.
Yes, absolutely. Well, first off, Anthony, I'm already sweaty walking into this studio because, of course, we start out the day with a nice game of ping pong. And then, okay, we got to follow it up with a putting contest. And what do you want to do? You want to do like a 40-yard dash outside, too? I mean, this is ridiculous. Hosting with you has already worn me out, and
That's
it's
right.
12:03.
Yeah, don't hit the wall, man. Pace yourself. I'm pacing myself, Sergeant. We'll have a little bit of Hot Seat City coming up at 12:20. We'll do some pressure cooker in the second hour. Bottom of the hour, we'll talk to our friend Dan Hope of 11 Warriors. We'll talk some Buckeyes as they get ready. Final weekend before the weekend. And then Brenden Deeg will talk NFL in the second hour. J. Lou with some chin music at 2:33. But we are ready to go today. I do want to thank you. You participated and supported in the charity outing that I did for Homeless to Home in Marion. That was outstanding. It's great to have support from you guys and a shout out. Couldn't do it without all the help and volunteers and everyone that's dedicated. It's one of those things, and you know it from running the golf outing here at the Fan. They can do so much good. They're so much fun, so much support. So thank you, my man. I know you guys didn't get a podium finish, but I saw something.
It was spectacular. All right, you do an incredible job with that golf outing. It was at Little Turtle on Monday. And I'll tell you, you walk in there, and everybody just has a blast. And, you know, that's the number one thing when you put one of these golf outings on is you want everybody to walk away having a really, really good time. And you did that. And you raised a ton of money for the charity, which is the ultimate goal. And so I give all my kudos to you because it was such a fun Monday. You know, my only complaint in the whole day was I did on a par 3 put the ball to about 4 feet, and I thought I had won closest to the pin. I have never won a proximity prize at a golf outing in my life, and I thought walking into that Little Turtle clubhouse that I was going to walk away with something sweet. And little did I know when I got into that clubhouse that my closest to the pin win just happened to be on a ladies closest to the pin. So, yep, I was eliminated. But
Sorry, sir.
Other than that, great outing, Anthony.
Thanks, buddy. Here's the difference between you and I. I have won some proximities, but I've had to give them back. I'll tell you a quick story. It's because it's become a tradition unlike any other, and I swear to God, it is as accidental as it gets. So you and I are very fortunate, played in the Nationwide Children's Hospital Championship Media Day at Scarlet. They do an incredible job out there. Tom and his team, everybody out there. And so a year ago, we come to Pub 13, the great par 3 down the hill. And unbeknownst to me, maybe I should have read the rule sheet, I don't know, but there was a little sign up at the back tees where the pros play. We played it from the Scarlet tees, which is what, about 165 maybe, something like that?
Yeah.
And I had hit it closest to the pin. I go in the clubhouse, they hand out the award, and they say, closest to the pin, Anthony Rothman, here you go, certificate to the pro shop. Great. Then someone says, what tees did you play? And I said, the ones I thought we were supposed to play. Did you play the tips? No. Hand back the cert.
Oh, no.
So that goes back into the pot. So I took a lot of you-know-what for that for an entire year.
Yep.
I get to this year. We get to the par 3 8th at Scarlet. And I hit it about 18 feet left of the pin. We go up there. The sign's blank. I put my name on it. I put the stake in the ground. We continue to play. We get to the party afterward, and they announce winner of the proximity at number 8, Anthony Rothman.
Woo!
Long putt.
Oh, no.
Long putt? Who puts a par 3 prox as a long putt? So for the second year in a row, I had to give back a certificate. There's a man with integrity. And they all said, just keep it. I'm like, no, somebody had to have hit the green there. And so whoever they found it. So 2 years in a row now, I have won proximities and had to give them back.
So I got to ask you, because I had to leave early that day. I left after hole 12. And basically, I want to know, did you actually have the certificate in your hand and you had to like walk back up to Tom Sprouse and be like, here you go, have it back?
I was sitting both times. There was no walk of shame.
Okay.
But there was a lot of shame involved. Mm-hmm. It was unintentional. But at least I didn't say, like everybody obviously in my group knew, but I'll ask you that. Have you ever played a golf outing where a proximity that wasn't a closest to the pin was on a par 3?
No, you're right. As a person who's run, maybe 10 golf outings in my life, no, I've never quite done that. So that was a strange one.
Part of that, and you had to leave, and after hole 12, I think. And so we had the logo ball challenge where they give you 2 logo balls. Everybody has to rotate those. You have to play the whole 18 and come in with presumably at least one of them. And we got to 17, and one of our guys, I'll withhold the name to protect the innocent or the guilty. The road hole 17 at Scarlet. And we figured let's give him the logo ball there at the par 3, 155 up the hill. And we get a little New York Yankee to the left. Road hole, St. Andrews, onto the street. We lose the logo ball 1, but we wound up bringing in the second one for you to get your certificate. So technically, you did win. It just wasn't a prox.
Well, so the first thing you did today when I saw you was you took the $100 certificate out of your wallet and you gave it to me, and I appreciate that.
And then I said, you earned 60% of this.
Yeah, exactly. But that was, I'll tell you, the pressure of the logo ball is something that you can't quite experience because it's like, okay, the other 3 members of your team are all staring at you every single shot when you have the logo ball. So there is a lot of pressure on it.
Keep it dry.
And we ended up pulling through. I know we're doing pressure cooker later on this show, but that is the true pressure cooker at a golf outing.
The other pressure cooker, and I think you and I are done with mock drafts because there's no use in doing a mock draft if you don't know where you're picking. And I've done this now several times, whether it's on Yahoo or other sites, Fantasy Pros, whatever. And I guess that I'm going to be in a bad spot. I'll guess 9th or 10th. And I'm like, just do that because that's what you'll probably get. Well, last night I did another mock draft for fantasy. And I said, enough is enough. You and I have the power to get this done. So we put a call in to our boy Pavs upstairs. Sales, quotes, loosely, Friday, casual Friday. I don't even know if the boss is here.
Nope, he's not. He's out golfing.
So you and I have decided to do our live draft order on the air quickly with Pavs.
Yes.
We have to get this done. I'm sick of waiting.
And this is serious business because every year we kind of like get earlier and earlier with the draft order. Now, the draft isn't going to be until Labor Day night, but we want to do the advanced research of where we're going to be picking, right? I mean, are we going to be, this is a 14-team draft. Okay, so we're not doing one of those 12 or 10 or whatever. This one is 14. So we need to know where we're drafting. First off, before Pavlino picks this first name out, I want to know where you want to be. What is your ideal pick?
Top 5, preferably 4.
Okay, so you want pick 4.
Probably 3 would be nice because then maybe I'll get either the second running back or the second receiver.
And I'm going to be mad wherever Pavlino picks out for me to draft because that's just the way I am. I'm just going to be angry.
Pavs, is this the first time that we're going to allow you to pick, you actually put the names in the hat and pick them out yourself? There'll be no helper. There'll be no assistant. Is this how it's usually done?
It is normally done up in the sales area, forced by Scott. I am normally writing down the order of the draft. However, I'm not typically pulling the names out of the hat.
All right. What about Deloitte?
I need some help today. Who's writing this down for me?
I will write them down.
What about Deloitte and Touche? Are they here to make sure this all goes according to legit?
Well, it's live on radio, right? So it's got to be legit.
All right, so you have all 14
And
names.
YouTube.
You have all 14 names in the hat right now.
All 14
And you're
names
going to
in the
hold the hat out with one hand and pick it with the other.
Should we
That's
pick it out
correct.
of the Coors Light cup, or are we using just a regular hat over here?
I've got a hat here.
All right.
It's a flex fit.
That's a better mix. Better
Probably
mixture.
first one here
Where
is
do you-
Christian McCaffrey,
Where
right?
do you want to be picking?
Like I said, I'm going to be angry no matter where I get because that's how
No, you won't.
it's a reverse psychology thing. So I'll be angry. But I would like to
Where do
be
you
in
wanna
that
be picking?
3 range.
5 to
All
6.
right, lean in.
All right, let's go.
5 to 6. Top
5
3
to-
receiver,
yeah.
top 3 running back.
All right, so how about a little NFL? You got any NFL music in there, Cole? You got anything you can jazz this up with? That's not, no trumpets. No mouth trumpets today. That's not good.
All right, make the
Are we
pick.
ready?
Yes.
All right, so this is we're going 1 through 14.
1 through 14.
Look at him go. Right into the hat. Right there. Number one.
pick.
Come on.
The number one
Don't
pick
me.
in the fan draft goes to.
Evan, big fella.
Okay.
The
Blankenship.
big
Evan
fella.
gets number 1. I know
Former Ohio State offensive
yeah,
lineman
he's-
Evan Blankenship.
He's going to be happy with that.
Or
Number
he'll screw it up.
Number 2.
Number
Who's
2.
coming out at number 2? The 2 hole.
Your co-host, Matty Hayes.
Matty
Matty
Hayes
Ice
gets.
Hayes.
He's going to like that. Now, will he pick JJ? Doubtful. He's loved him, but I doubt he will.
That'd be a reach.
Number 3.
Scotty Vegas.
Oh, let's go.
That's all right. That's really not fun. That's a pretty damn good spot.
That is perfect.
That's really
I'm not
good.
angry.
I knew you wouldn't be.
Number 4,
4 horse.
Is it you?
Commissioner Pavs.
Oh.
Okay. It's over. I'm out of this league.
Boom.
I need this one right here. I got to have this
Wow.
one. I got to have top 5. Please.
Jen Winters.
Oh, Jen is in at 5.
The only good news
spot.
is I'm probably all my mock drafts I've done at like 8, 9, 10. That's probably good that I did that. 6.
So at this point, do you want the snake?
I think I would probably take 6. I don't want anything deeper than 6. I would then go to the turn.
All right. Ready?
Evan with
Yeah.
the number 1 pick is already celebrating in the hallway.
Number 6.
Yep. We got to speed her up.
The suit upstairs, Cody Welling.
All right. That's 6.
The boss is 6.
Pull again.
Number 7. We have Beamer.
All right. Now I want to now basement. Now just plummet me.
Get
Number
to
8.
14.
Tito.
Oh, no.
9.
9.
Please keep going.
Paige.
All right. Keep going. Give me 10. I'd go all the way down,
10.
please.
Amy Reeves.
All right. Keep going.
11. T.O. Tyler Oliver.
Okay.
Oh, you are going to be last.
12. Not
12.
yet.
Anthony Rothman.
Oh, AR, that's about as bad as it gets. That is horrible.
And 13.
The Dirty Dozen?
Queen Janine.
This is awful.
And 14. Colin.
Maybe you can get Marvin Harrison.
I've done well from the basement before or close to it, but that doesn't feel good at all.
It shouldn't.
all.
It shouldn't feel good.
Yeah.
That's a bad spot.
You would have been better off with computer generated.
I would have been better off in not doing this segment. Exactly. And waiting.
I love it. Pick 3, baby.
All right.
Give me Tyreek.
Pavs, well done. Thank you. I think we got it done. Now I can at least do the mock drafts. That's all I wanted out of this was to be able to start researching. So here we go. Maybe somebody will make a mistake before me, and I'll be able to capitalize.
Best of luck to you, too.
Thanks, my man. Have a good weekend. Thanks. This was on the clock, so
Well, you really,
feel free to get
you
paid.
really do seem depressed.
I'm
like,
okay.
You're angry.
No, I'll be okay.
Okay.
I'll be okay. I'm just kind of, the wheels are turning on what I could do with 12.
You're angry now, but I know you're going to call me on the way home at
Nah.
like 3:05 complaining.
Swearing.
Yes.
Yeah, I won't do that now. We will come back. Hot Seat City. We talked about this earlier. And one analyst has put Ryan Day directly on it. You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
If you haven't thought about Buckeye football today, I'm sorry to tell you that you're dead. Our condolences. Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan. The Columbus Men's Clinic opened in 2014 for guys who get it done. Let's talk, fellas. You solve problems all day at work. You fix your sink when it's broken. But when it comes to ED and low T, it doesn't get done. We get it. You hate going to the doctor, but you're the guy that fixes things. At the Columbus Men's Clinic, there's nothing to fear and no reason to delay. We've been destroying bedroom boredom for a decade. So if you haven't fixed this, call us. When the pills fail, call us. If you feel like you've tried everything, call us. Here, there's hope. From the conventional to the next level. You'll be seen by our friendly, discreet physician who will take the time to listen. Imagine finally taking care of this with no surgery. Imagine going from feeling gray to living life in vibrant color. It's time to be confident. Join the thousands of guys who have found success after walking through our doors. Will you be one of them? Dial 614-300-7400 or go to ColumbusMen'sClinic.com to schedule a $99 male performance consultation, including blood work. Do it for you. Do it for her. ColumbusMen'sClinic.com. Book your appointment now.
Wendy's new Saucy Nugs come in 7 saucy flavors. Yep, you can literally hear your taste buds going. Taste bud sounds may vary. For a whole new way to nug, gotta be Wendy's. Open till midnight or later.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, hours may vary by location.
Ah, the sounds of summer. The crack of a bat, the splash of a pool, and the dreaded silence of a broken AC. No, don't sweat it. Call the Waterworks Heating and Cooling Team for an AC tune-up. Schedule a visit today and stay cool all summer long. All set. Call the Waterworks Heating and Cooling Team, 614-333-9720, or schedule service on our website. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better AC.
We go to war for you.
At Sugar Schnarr Trial Attorneys, we don't back down. Accident? Call us today at 877-WAR-FOR-YOU or visit warforyou.com for a free consultation. Results matter because we go to war for you. warforyou.com.
We don't talk politics on The Fan. Instead, you'll hear us talk about the Ohio State Buckeyes, the NFL, food, family, and fun. We're your safe space. Except when Common Man violates it by playing fart noises. The Fan, Ohio's politics-free destination.
Hey, Buckeye fans, ready for the chance to win one of 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences? As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. We're talking tickets, sideline passes, a trip for 2 to the Oregon game, and exclusive access to the Ryan Day Coaches Show. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 winners. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Bob's Discount Furniture is coming to Polaris, and Bob's Discount Furniture wants you to win big this football season. It's easy. Get online and go to 971thefan.com to register to win a $1,000 gift card to Bob's Discount Furniture, so you can watch your favorite football team sitting in your new Bob's recliner or couch this season. Wow. That's $1,000 from Bob's Discount Furniture. All you have to do is register to win on the Fans Contest page at 971thefan.com. Hurry, contest ends Wednesday, August 28th. See complete contest details online at 971thefan.com.
If a friend asks how you're doing, and you say,
I'm okay.
When the truth is,
I don't want my problems to burden anyone.
Or you say,
hang it in there.
Because
if I ask for help, they'll just think I'm weak.
Then this is your sign to call, text, or chat 988 for free, confidential support. Anytime. You don't have to hide how you feel.
The Ohio Chapter International Society of Arboriculture's mission is committed to advancing responsible tree care practices. They remind herbicide and pesticide users to always read and follow the product label. The label is the law, so take the time to know how it should be used and how to use it safely. To find out more, there are over 1,000 qualified arborists in Ohio. Visit www.treesforohio.org to find an arborist near you. That's www.treesforohio.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We're looking at more warm weather this afternoon. Highs in the mid-80s. Humidity stays low, meaning it will still be comfortable but warm. Sunshine all day long. Will be clear tonight. Temperature down to around 60. Up in the upper 80s, near 90 Saturday, with mostly sunny skies. Partly cloudy, more humid, and 91 on Sunday. That's your latest 10 weather impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
You're listening listening to Rothman and Ice, the #1 rated midday show in Columbus.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
As my friend Chanel #5 texts in, here's my entrance fee. Have a nice fantasy season. I'm out.
Oh, please.
I spent the last commercial break going through the positioning of sitting there at the Dirty Dozen. And I'm not horribly excited, but I'm not incredibly disappointed. I'm not as angry as I was at the moment. In the moment, I've kind of softened. I may de-sour. I don't think I'll sweeten, but I have de-soured during the break.
You de-soured? Because all I heard were complaints the entire break. And then you, right before we're coming back, you said, I'm not that mad.
Because
I'm just disappointed.
Yes, because I've looked. I've looked at. Listen.
You could get Saquon.
Yes.
Jonathan Taylor.
Yes. Yeah.
Garrett Wilson, Marvin. You're going to get a star at 12. I'm just going to get a lot more comfortable player at number 3. Either CeeDee Lamb or Tyreek Hill.
It's been quite a morning. I lost my car, my apartment, my girlfriend. You still have your health. I would say that I don't want to tip my hand too much, but I feel like I could get a couple nice top 5 depth pieces, and then maybe I swing and reach for a quarterback or not. We'll see. And then it's all about staying healthy. It's all about staying healthy for Ohio State. And I said this yesterday. Urban, heaped a lot of praise on Ohio State, and rightfully so. But I changed one word for him. He's worried about in this non-conference blowout season, they got to keep everybody happy. To me, that's counter to everything they've been saying. They're all here to win, right? All for one, one for all. If I hear anybody unhappy, then that means something went wrong or they've been just being actors to us. Because to me, change the word happy to healthy, and I'm perfect. They don't care about getting through the non-conference with feeding everybody stats. It's more about making sure you get to this long. All we've heard all year, Scotty, is long season. We're going to need everybody. If you change that immediately to, well, guys aren't getting the football, well, that changes the entire narrative of what they've been preaching.
Can you ever remember a year, Anthony, covering Ohio State as long as you have, where the expectations were national championship or bust? Because that's what it is this year. That's what everybody feels like, national championship or bust. And let's be honest with you. The odds on actually winning the national championship would say they're between 3 and 4 to 1. If you're 3 to 1, that's an implied odds of your chance to win the national championship is 25%. 4 to 1, you're at 20%. So the odds out there are saying you got about a 20 to 25% chance. But I don't think any Ohio State fans out there feel like Ohio State's chance is between 20 and 25%.
Yeah. I was trying to go from 95 to 96, but if I go to 90, but the guys who were drafted in 96, like Eddie George, you lost Bobby Hoyne, you lose Eddie George, you lose Terry Glenn.
98,
you lose Ricky Dudley. I'm trying to think what, and then in 96. By the way, they went into both those seasons undefeated to Michigan. Both times they were undefeated going into Michigan, and that was about the biggest disappointment they've ever felt. But that 95 to 96, I'd probably say that was pretty massive for me because you still had Rabel and Springs and Pace and Ty Howard and Finkus. I mean, you still had, like, if I go back to 95, your co-champions, let me see here. We're 96, I'm sorry. And obviously they used the 2-quarterback system there with Stanley Jackson and Joe Germain, but they were dominant and in 96. And I felt like coming off of, I'd have to go and see what their preseason ranking was. I think they were certainly top 10. But to your point, they weren't 2. They were top 10 to start the year in 96. I'd have to go back and see where they were before. You're exactly right. In this era, looks like they were 12th going into 95. 97, they were 9.
I think 98 was a year where the expectations was probably to win it all.
They were probably the number 1 team in the nation.
And I think obviously after winning it all in 2002, it was expected that the next year was going to be that same level. But you had just won one. So I don't know if it was national championship or bust. And then also after winning in 14, that team coming back, the expectations was national championship or bust.
So you're talking Boston, Winfield, Katzenmoyer, Germain.
Yeah, when they lost to Michigan State.
Which, honestly, outside of the last 3 Michigan years, probably one of the worst upsets in the history of everything I've covered because they were just so dominant. And not only that, they were killing them that game, too. Mm-hmm. That's the other part of it. It's not like Michigan State came here and just rolled them from the start. Now, they did rebound in that game and wound up thrashing Michigan and going on and beating A&M. But, yeah, you're probably right. 98 to be 1 or 2 going in.
I want to put you on the spot here on this one real quick. What percentage chance do you actually believe Ohio State wins it all? Because I'm in the 35% range, which seems high.
35?
Yeah, I think there's a 35% chance Ohio State wins the national championship.
That seems so low to me.
Low?
Yeah. They're automatically in the tournament. This isn't some BCS era where if you lose one, you're out. When you have the most talent and you know you're in the tournament and you can win it all as, quote, a wild card or a 1-loss, 2-loss team, 35%. I was going to go minimum 60.
Okay, but the betting odds are that between 20 and 25% that they win it all. I believe it's 35%.
Wow.
I've asked Dave Biddle, my co-host. He's at 50%,
I'll
and
tell you
you're
what,
higher.
I'm gonna put the poll out there. So Biddle's saying it's a coin flip.
He said 50-50.
I have not heard one expert say that Ohio State winning it all this year is a coin flip. That seems very low. That seems
You
low.
said 60%. You think it's more likely they win the national championship than that they don't?
What am I going on? I mean, yes, there's some things we have to see first. I get it, but it doesn't feel higher than 35%. Here, listen to Feinbaum from last week. Cole, play this if you have it.
I don't think he has to win the national championships, but here's what he doesn't need to do. If he loses to Michigan, which would be 4 in a row, and somehow gets bounced out of the playoffs, perhaps before the final game, I think the decision could be to get rid of him. And I know that sounds outrageous because he has a gaudy record, but you heard Lewis lay it out. Nobody's got, other than maybe Kirby Smart, and I don't even think he does, has the amazing roster that Ryan Day has. And if you can't win with that roster, it's time to find someone who can.
All right, here's the deal. I understand what he's saying. I can fast forward my brain to another loss against Michigan, and this city will implode. I understand that. They will still have a chance to circle those wagons. If everything he says comes true, that they lose to Michigan and don't win the title, will there be talk about whether he is just feasting on teams that he overmatches against? Yes. But until I see what happens. Now, the losing to Michigan without winning a title, I don't know if there's any way around that right now. I don't know how much money they'd owe him. There's a lot of different conversations. You want to just take it on the surface, the optics of it, losing here again for the 4th year in a row with this roster? I understand exactly where he's going. And I think Ryan Day knows that would not be a pleasant place to be at all.
I'm just surprised that it's national championship or bust. You're saying 60%.
I'm saying if they beat Michigan and don't win the title, he's fine. If he loses to Michigan and doesn't win the title, you add such another layer of disappointment.
Well, it's how far you get, right? Did you beat Oregon? Did you win the Big Ten?
The only way out of another loss to Michigan, Scotty, is winning it all. It's the only way out.
Getting to the championship wouldn't be enough?
If they play a tight game against Georgia and lose, does he save face? Of course. But you can't sell that to Buckeye fan right now. You could sell him beating Michigan and not winning a title. You can't sell him losing to Michigan and not winning a title. It's almost impossible to sell that.
Boy, I don't know if I'm to that point yet, where he would get fired if he doesn't beat
and I'm with you
Michigan and doesn't win it all.
And I'm with you on that. I'm not trying to take it just on the surface of, hey, let's take the results and fast forward to a firing. I'm not doing that. I need to see how the year plays out. Injuries, how everything, how other teams come together, where you are in the bracket. Do you have a bye? Do you not? Like, we have to take those things into consideration. We'll ask Dan Hope next. He covers them for 11 Warriors. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State athletics, The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Common Man here for Care Heating and Cooling. Weather is unpredictable, but the inside of your home should be comfortable just the way you like it. And the best way to avoid those unnecessary surprises is with a Care Plan. See, with a Care Plan, you get priority service, system maintenance in case of an emergency. Just another way to give you and your family peace of mind. And maintaining your systems properly can help save you money. A properly maintained furnace and air conditioner run more efficiently, reducing your utility usage. Regular maintenance also prevents breakdowns and extends the life of your equipment. I'm on the the care plan, and I'm quite the expert. I'll stop by and give your system a once-over. I will. Don't tempt me. I end every commercial the same way, telling you to hire care when you need a company you can trust. It's not just the slogan. That's the care creed. How about this? Lennox. They have thousands of dealers nationwide. HVAC royalty. Last year, Lennox gave Care their coveted Partner of the Year award because they're trusted by their customers and their partners. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING or book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com when you need a company you can trust.
Are you saving to buy a home in the next 5 years? Grow your money faster at Bridge Credit Union with an Ohio Homebuyer Plus savings account. Earn 10% annual percentage yield plus a $2,500 closing credit for your new home. Must be an Ohio resident at least 18 years old. You only need $100 to get started. Visit bridgecu.org today. NMLS ID 402575. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Common Man here for Jermaine Lexus of Dublin and Easton. Back to school time. Your kids probably have fancy friends. Isn't it about time you gave them a ride to be proud of? Actually, hell with the kids. Treat yourself to a new Lexus. Right now, it's the Golden Opportunity Sales Event with rates as low as 2.99% on ES, NX, and RX, as well as great lease payments. I've been a Jermaine customer for years, even before I started doing the commercials. If you're in the market, please stop in. Jermaine Lexus of Dublin and Easton. JermaineLexus.com.
Remember how that little girl in Poltergeist was in the TV?
They're here.
Yeah? Well, she's actually dead now. It's quite sad. Anyway, watch your favorite fan shows on your TV by subscribing to us on YouTube. Search 971 The Fan. Do it now.
Everyone has that one goal, that thing they want to prove. Not to other people, but to themselves. Then, right when you think you could actually do it, cancer. And that goal is still within reach. Oh no, I'm about to run my first ever marathon with my two best friends. 3 years after having cancer.
At least we look good in these shorts.
Woo! Let's get it, guys. You, keep making plans.
Visit ohiohealth.com/keepmakingplans to learn more.
By the time you're finished listening to this Pepsi Zero Sugar, you'll be 15 seconds closer to kickoff. Stock up now. Bengals game day is so close, you can almost taste it. Bengals watching. Better with Pepsi.
It's the summer sell down at Performance. Get up to $16,000 off MSRP on new 24 Jeep Wranglers and Grand Cherokees during the Make This the Summer of Jeep event. Performance Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, Georgesville and Delaware.
Not valid on previous sales. Cannot combine offers. Must take delivery from dealer stock 8/20 to 8/31/24.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now, but I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code LEARN for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code LEARN for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code LEARN.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
A perfect afternoon parlay. This is Rothman and Ice.
All right, welcome back. Just put out the poll at 971 RNI and at 971 The Fan. What percentage chance you give the Buckeyes to win the Natty? 25% or less, 26% to 49%, 50 to 74%, 75% and higher. My prediction is that 50 to 74 will come through because you want to speak it into existence without getting too overconfident. I'll play dime store psychologist. That's what most Buckeye fans would vote because it doesn't commit them all to it, but it doesn't say you don't believe in your team. So I put everybody on the couch today, and that's what it's going to be.
And I'm at 35%. By the way,
you're still on the couch.
Betting odds, the betting odds would say between 20 and 25%. Yeah. And wow. Georgia, who's 3-1, would have a 25% chance.
Amazing. Dan Hope is with us from 11 Warriors. He covers these Ohio State Buckeyes. He's on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Dan, welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
You can weigh in on the poll right now. We haven't seen this offensive line come together. We haven't seen the quarterback in scarlet and gray. We haven't seen the defense come together yet like we think they will. Percentage chance they win a natty this year.
Yeah, I'll go with 26 to 49%, and I would give Ohio State the highest percentage chance, or at least tied with Georgia for the highest percentage chance, because I do think that this Ohio State football team is loaded. Like you said, the offensive line's a question mark. Will Howard's still a bit of a question mark, but this is a team that, I think should have the best defense in the country. It should have the best running back tandem in the country, and it might have the best wide receiving core in the country. And that's a lot of the team right there. So I think, I can't go over 50% to win a national championship, because it's a hard thing to do. Only one team can win it. And so there's a lot of variables and hurdles to clear along the way. But I do put them firmly in that above 25% chance, because I really do believe, this team has the components of a championship caliber team.
It's still less than a coin flip for you guys, though, and that's where my mind goes. What is your biggest concern on why you would have them as a coin flip to win the Natty with everything you just said about the talent?
Well, I think it just goes back to how hard it is to win a national championship. I mean, it's you can be a really good team, which I think this team is going to be, but only one team can win it all. And, Georgia's got a really good team. Oregon's going to be big competition in the Big Ten. You've got Texas and Alabama and, lots of other good teams out there. And so, do I think this team is, good enough to make a, deep CFP run? I mean, over that, I'm definitely over 50%. But when it comes to actually winning it all, I can't go over 50%, because there's just such a difficult thing to do. And, as we mentioned, it's a team that looks, very, very strong on paper, that, I do think is very capable of winning a national championship, but that doesn't mean there aren't any concerns. Certainly, I think the offensive line being at the top of that list.
Well, and Dan, in 2002 when they win it all, and in 2014 when they win it all, you didn't go into those years with crazy high expectations. But the years they have had crazy high expectations, I argued 98. I said also 03 and 15, they didn't win it all. So it's hard to do. So I think, thinking over 50% is kind of a wild number in my mind. But I did want to ask you, Dan, Will Howard, to me, has been the story of this fall camp, and more so the reaction by all of the other players talking about Will Howard and how he has kind of impressed this fall. Is that the number one storyline, in your opinion, as well, out of fall camp so far?
Yeah, I would absolutely agree. I mean, typically when there's any uncertainty at quarterback, it is going to be the number one storyline of the team. But, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, I always look at Denzel Burke as kind of being the arbiter of truth on this Ohio State football team, because he's someone who usually tells it like it is. And when he was asked in the spring about Will Howard, he was, I need to see more. Even at Big Ten Media Days, when he was asked about Will Howard, it was, I need to see more. And then when he was asked a couple weeks ago about Will Howard, it's like, oh, Will Howard's looked great. Like he's a great quarterback. He's really stepped up his game. And so I think that right there, said a lot about how much Will Howard has improved in preseason camp. And it's what we've heard consistently from everyone on the team. I think, coming out of spring, there were legitimate doubts about whether Will Howard was the guy to be the starting quarterback for this team. But I think he's really won his teammates and coaches over with the improvement he's shown this month.
Give me your take on, this offense may be able to do a lot or whatever they want, but will they have any particular identity in your mind?
Yeah, it's hard to say, because, it's a new chapter here, of course, with, a new quarterback, a new offensive coordinator and Chip Kelly. But, I think, the good thing about this offense is, they really, if Will Howard is what he, looks like he can be based on what we've seen this month, and if the offensive line can take a step forward, this is an offense that really should be able to attack teams in many different ways, because, I think certainly the running game you expect to be a big component of this offense. I think Will Howard is going to bring more of a running threat at the quarterback position than we've seen since Justin Fields at Ohio State. The running backs, as long as those guys stay healthy, you're not going to find a better 1-2 punch than Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins. But then you've also got Emeka Egbuka and Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate and Brenden Innis. And so if defenses try to stack the box to stop the run, well, then you're taking your chances with leaving a bunch of one-on-one matchups for some extremely talented wide receivers. And so I do think the run game is probably going to be this offense's bread and butter, because I don't think Will Howard is a C.J. Stroud, Dwayne Haskins level passer. But I think if he can just make those plays when they're available to him, when a Jeremiah Smith or a Carnell Tate wins that one-on-one matchup, if you could hit that deep ball when that guy's open, this is going to be a really tough offense to stop, because you really can't stack the box if those guys are making plays down the field. And then it's going to be tough to stop a run game when you've got an athletic quarterback and Will Howard and elite running backs.
Dan, I want to get into Ohio State special teams, because everybody wants to talk about offensive line and quarterbacks and how great the defense is going to be. But to me, watching the MAC championship game last year, Miami of Ohio was so dominant. They won that conference because of their special teams. Great punting, great field goal kicking, return specialists. I want to know, because Ohio State has struggled, right, returning kicks and some big-time field goals over the last few years, and some punting issues, especially in that Michigan game last year. I want to know, have you seen the improvement for going into this year on Ohio State special teams?
Yeah, it's a good question and a good point, because it is, I think, certainly the phase of a game that tends to get overlooked when we're talking about the team in the preseason. I think in some degree it's to be determined, because, at the practices we've been able to attend, we haven't seen a lot of field goal kicking, a lot of kick returns. We did get to see a good amount of punting, and it was interesting to hear Ryan Day outright name Nick McLarty the starting punter on Thursday night, because I don't know that I was necessarily expecting that, because based on what we saw in those early practices, we saw a good amount of inconsistency with Nick McLarty, but you also see a booming leg. But when he gets a hold of that punt, man, he can really boot it. And it sounds like, based on what Ryan Day said last night, that he has started to find that consistency. And so, I think he has the potential to be an upgrade in that area if he can find consistency, although Jesse Mirko was probably one of the stronger suits of the special teams last year anyway. I think Jaden Fielding was solid last year. Like you said, I think there's still that question of, if you need this guy to make a 50-yard field goal for game on the line, will he be able to do it? We don't really know. We don't really have a sample size on that, so we'll have to see. And then, the return game is kind of still TBD as well. It's interesting what Ryan Day said last week, the guys that they're looking at in the return game. He mentioned Emeka Egbuka, Travion Henderson, Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, Brenden Innis. I think, maybe some people would have thought, maybe you put some of the younger, backup guys in there to preserve those guys' health, to give those guys some other opportunities. But the fact that they seem to be looking at, some of those top-line players in the return game would suggest a couple things. One, that, ball security is certainly going to be at a premium there. But two, maybe they are looking for that spark. They're looking for, to break this over decade-long drought now that they've had since they've had a kicker punt return touchdown. And so, it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. I don't know that I can sit here and say, I definitely think the special teams will be better this year, just because we haven't seen a ton of it. But, I think there's plenty of things to be encouraged about there.
Yeah, very nice. Good job, man. We covered it all, and we'll do it more with you as the season unfolds. Thanks, Dan. Be well.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
Dan Hope, 11 Warriors covering Ohio State on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. He nailed it on fielding. He only attempted one field goal over 50, and that was against Michigan, and he missed it. The rest, he was fine from 40 to 49, but that's the big boot we haven't seen. We'll come back. We'll do overs and unders into the weekend. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
We test marketed naming the show A Guy and His Butlers.
Oh, that is very touching.
But we thought Bishop and Friends had a better ring to it.
Weekday mornings at 9.
The Fan.
Scotty Vegas here for Maxima Concrete. From a basic driveway replacement to a complex in-ground pool, patio, or outdoor kitchen installation, Maxima can do it all. Pavers, natural stone, seating walls, even lighting and landscaping. Everything is in-house with Maxima, so buy from the guys that will actually perform the work. Mention 971 The Fan for $250 off your next project. Get a free estimate today by visiting MaximaConcrete.com.
With Labor Day savings at the Home Depot, you can get up to $1,500 off select appliances from top brands like LG, America's most reliable line of appliances, like the LG Smart Top Load Washer with easy unload angled front, so you can reach every last sock. Right now, get up to $1,500 off select appliances in-store and online with Labor Day savings at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Pricing valid August 22nd through September 11th. U.S. only. See store online for details. America's most reliable line of appliances per independent study.
I can't believe tax season is here already. Look at all this info I have to enter.
Phil's small accounting firm is growing in numbers.
Why didn't I take that typing class in high school?
A data entry specialist could really help him in a crunch.
I got blisters on my fingers.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
August may seem like the end of summer. It also means the beginning of a lot of things, like back to school, festivals, football. At Buckeye Lake Marina, it means the August savings days are upon us. Get huge discounts on all of the new and used boats that they didn't sell. Every pontoon, tri-toon, sport boats, even fishing boats are ready for you. Save thousands on demo models that have been used all summer to show off amazing features. Some have never even been in the water. Take advantage of the August savings days at Buckeye Lake Marina. Their summer hours continue through the entire month of August. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com for details.
If you miss a little, you'll miss a lot. Search for your favorite fan shows wherever you get your podcasts and subscribe. Every episode comes right to your phone absolutely free. Modern technology, it's a hell of a thing. Do it now. The Fan.
Direct auto insurance is for uncompromisers. Like Matt. When his old car insurance got so expensive, do you think he walked until his sneakers wore out? No. Because he found savings with Direct Auto so he could drive instead of compromise. With savings of up to 25% on state minimum coverage, you too can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a free quote at directauto.com or a store near you. Savings vary, terms apply. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
Bo Bishop here. High Bank Distillery Co. is the most awarded distillery in America at the 2024 San Francisco World Spirits Competition. Stop by your local liquor store to grab a bottle or their 2 restaurant locations at Gahanna and Grandview. Dine, drink, distill at High Bank.
This year, Dell Technologies' Back to School event is delivering impressive tech with an inspiring purpose. Learn how Dell is helping Computer Aid, whose work is helping solar community hubs with tech and AI literacy skills to empower remote, displaced, or disconnected communities around the world. Help Dell make a difference and shop AI-ready PCs powered by Snapdragon X Series processors at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Progressive presents 10 things on a food truck owner's to-do list that are harder than getting a commercial auto insurance quote. Stocking the fridge, prepping the stations, finding employees that get along well, finding employees that actually do their job. Looking at you, Gary. Balancing the books, balancing the flavors, having a fresh menu and fresh produce and fresh meat, but never a fresh mouth. But the easiest thing on a small business owner's to-do list? Seeing if you can save on commercial auto insurance. Get a quote in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms and conditions.
Hey, it's Bobby. When it comes to tackling a project as important as your roof, you want a company that cares about the product and experience they're going to deliver. At Newman Roofing, you're more than just a number. They believe in 100% customer satisfaction. And for your roofing needs, give them a call at 614-NEW-ROOF or newmanroofing.com.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Rothman and Ice presents Overs and Unders.
All right, Cole. Knock it out. The overs and unders.
All right, let's get into this thing. The first one that we have here, where will Scotty Scheffler finish in the BMW Championship? He's about to tee off in the second round here at 120. He finished yesterday at a -1, which put him tied for 15th. Just so you know, 5th place was at a -4. Over under 5.5th place.
I'm going to go under, which means he'll be top 5 or better. I mean, he's a few strokes out of the top 5 now. He's that guy. I don't really want to bet against him on a top 5. He hasn't even teed off yet today. It looks like the scoring's pretty good, though, because Adam Scott's killing it. And he does have a lot of people to get over, but I'm going to take the under just because it's Scheffler.
You know I absolutely love golf betting. More so, I love betting the live golf. But let's look at Scotty Scheffler here.
I got a number for you to call.
So he's 4 back of this top 5 finish. Yeah. I think he's absolutely going to finish top 5. He'll go on a run today. He always does. He's always awesome on Fridays. So, yeah, Scotty Scheffler will finish top 5.
Both taking the under.
There you go. Second up, the Reds had 1 game with the Pirates last night. They got 3 more in this series tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday. How many stolen bases will Elly De La Cruz get in the final 3 games of this series? Over, under 1.5.
Well, he has 1 stolen base in his last 14 games. So I am going to go with the under 1.5. Might get 1. I'm not seeing 2.
And we're talking about how many games?
3. 3 more.
It's a lot of games. I mean, he had multiple stolen bases against the Giants this month, but you're right. He's struggled to get 1 in the last little run here. Caught last night. I'm with you. I'll give him 1 in the 3 games, but I can't get to 2 right now. So I'll take the under as well.
Guardians starting a 3-game set against the Texas Rangers. Guardians are the way better team throughout the season, but they've lost 5 of their last 6, and the Rangers have won 3 of their last 4. So how many games are the Guardians taking against the Rangers? Over, under 1.5 as well?
They're at home. I think they'll win the series. I know they've gotten smacked by the Yanks here, and outside of the 1 game they beat them, they're not scoring anything, but I just looked at the Valdi, Gray, Bradford. Those are all middling starters, probably ERAs under 4, so they're not trash, but they're not unbelievable. I'd be a little surprised if the Guardians lost the series at home, so I'll take the over.
I'm going to go over as well. I mean, the Guardians are streaky, right? We see them lose 3 and 4 and then bounce back and win 3 and 4 in a row. So Rangers are 59-69 on the year. I think the Guardians get it done and win 2 of 3.
The Brownies have their final preseason game this weekend. It is against the Seahawks. It's on Saturday night, and the point total, and you can hear it on the fan, by the way, the point total is 36.5.
So it's been a funny trend, guys. I don't know how close you've been looking at preseason NFL betting trends.
I know what they are.
But going into yesterday's games, 82% of the games were going under. Yeah. Now, what happens? Everybody starts betting unders, and then it starts going over because both games last night ended up going over. I'm going to go with what was 82%. Now it's like 79%. I'm going to say under the 36.5.
Yeah, it didn't happen in the Bears-KC last night. A lot of people thought maybe with those quarterbacks that it would go under. But all it takes is a pick 6 like you had last night. Things get a little out of hand. I'm with you. The unders have come through. And by the way, if you want to go back to last year, the Brownies unders were coming through. Brownies unders have come through in a lot of like a half a dozen of their last preseason games. And I think the Hawks are undefeated in unders. So I'll jump on that under as well.
The Steelers quarterback situation has been well documented on this show. They got a little bit of problem in the preseason. Neither Russell Wilson nor Justin Fields has led a touchdown scoring drive yet, and they got their final preseason game coming up against the Lions. How many points will the Steelers score against the Lions with either Russell Wilson or Justin Fields at quarterback? Over, under 9.5.
Justin playing? Russ is starting. I'm taking the under on that because of just the amount of work that I don't think both of those guys will get. Now, Russ, it's important. I'll probably put him in pressure here at 120, hint. But I'm going to take the under on that because if you can tell me 100% guaranteed that Justin's going to have a series in this game, maybe he will, but I'm going to take the under.
You're saying we need to go 2 scoring drives when neither quarterback has led their team to a scoring drive yet, and we don't know how much they're playing.
You got to get to 10 points.
Yeah,
combined.
2 scoring drives, right? A touchdown and a field goal you need at this. And
well, not 2 field goals.
No. Well, okay. You need to get in the end zone. I'm going to say they don't. I don't think. I don't believe they're going to get enough work to get to that point. So I'll take the under. I hate that we're agreeing on every one of these. Come on, we need a disagreement.
Hopefully you guys disagree on this one.
It's about winning.
Well, that's true.
2 great minds think alike. All right, let's wrap it up with the college football one. It is starting tomorrow. When I think of Dublin, Ireland, I think of Florida State and Georgia Tech. Woo! We got that one going on in Dublin. May the wind always be at your back, or be always at your back, rather. Florida State is
the pipes.
Florida State's a 10.5-point favorite. So how many points will Florida State beat Georgia Tech by? Over, under 10.5.
I'm going to go with under 10.5. Florida State lost a ton off of last year's team. Georgia Tech, not terrible, not a good defense, but I say this game stays within 10.5. And I love that this game is in Ireland. I just wish we had a better schedule of games for week 0. That's disappointing, but I think Georgia Tech plus 10.5 is the play.
It's a weird one because Florida State's definitely the better team, and the over-under is in the mid-50s. So I don't know what their defense can do, but I feel like a late score should cover. You said 10.5?
10.5.
Okay, it's across a key number, so I'll give you that. Certainly Florida State on the money line, which I combined with the Bears last night, so that's still alive for me. But, boy, they're such a heavy favorite. 10.5 just not enough.
Go Florida State. Yeah.
I'm going to go Florida State. Yeah.
All right, what are we putting on this?
Pride?
No. More than that. $5.
Fine. Done. See what a Finsky can do for guys' attitude? Relax. I'm a professional. We'll come back, top of the hour, Sports Center update, and we will get into the second hour that'll include the pressure cooker and our favorite when it comes to Ohio State. You can't bet on it anymore, but we will. Prop, fizz. Oh, what a relief this will be for Ohio State. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
The only radio station still operating with an active booze cart. I'm drunk right now. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
It's Toyota's national sales event with more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else, including Toyota's lineup of go-anywhere, do-anything trucks, like the powerful new Tundra. Now through September 3rd, you can get a new Tundra with low-rate financing, special leases, or customer cash up to $2,000, depending on model. And the 2024 Tacoma is now arriving at your Toyota dealer with dominating power, legendary capability, and captivating style. Get details at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Common Man and T-Bone here. Visit Hollywood Casino Columbus this summer for exciting live sports action. We got the biggest screens around, and ESPN Bet is live in Ohio.
Plus, Penn Play Rewards members can win up to $500 Penn Cash every week. Visit PennPlaySports.com/cover5 today and register for your chance to play and win.
Not a member? Get the Penn Play app today.
Hollywood Casino Columbus is your live sports headquarters.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Hey, it's Anthony here from my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. Rich is rolling out all of his new Hondas at 2.9% up to 60 months. Just not including the Civic Si and Civic Type R, but all the other awesome new Hondas, 2.9%. You love certified? He has the dream deal. 0.99% APR for 36 months on the 23s and 24s, Civics, HRVs, CRVs, Pilots, and Passports. When you think Honda, you have to visit Germain Honda of Dublin, Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
This is Paul Keels for Nature Stone Flooring, a unique blend of natural stone and their specially formulated epoxy expertly installed over existing concrete. Nature Stone is the only flooring solution for garages, basements, and indoor spaces. Family owned and operated since 1989, no other company or product can match the features, benefits, and unconditional warranty of an authentic Nature Stone floor. Visit naturestone.com today and schedule your cost estimate. Act now and save up to 50% off any Nature Stone floor. It's not just a floor, wow, it's Nature Stone.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
And I'm Timmy Hall. Ohio State's football team is heading into a game week this weekend. Can you believe it? We're 8 days away from the season opener against Akron. Lord knows one of the areas of this team that has to be dominant for them to win a national championship is the offensive line. Here's preseason first-team All-American Donovan Jackson on what they can do.
Just simplifying it and just running off the ball. Coach Fry's given us a lot of tools in terms of hand placement and what we can do to gain leverage and, displace guys off the line of scrimmage. So it's just using what we've learned to execute in game and improve it in practice.
We got our first high school football game of the week tonight. It's Pick Central hosting Harvest Prep. It gets going at 7 here on The Fan. Still to come this weekend in football, it's the Browns sealing up their preseason 10 o'clock kick in Seattle tomorrow night, also here on The Fan. This one's sponsored by Nature Stone. Schedule your free cost estimate today at naturestone.com. Remember, it's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
This is Rothman and Ice, the #1 rated midday show in Columbus.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right, second hour of the program, Rothman and Ice, Anthony Rothman, Scotty Vegas. And we're riding the BART today as our man Cole is steering the ship for us. We will do some props on Ohio State, even though, let me ask you this. Are you buying what they're selling in that they got rid of college props because it was putting too much pressure on the players? I feel like it's more for integrity. I feel like it was probably easier for college kids to get too involved in it and their friends and roommates and people on campus than the pros who have these massive paychecks that can be suspended, as we've seen. Because I claimed earlier on, if you and I, you're friends with a college, or, one of the guys over there, or one of their friends, they're obviously giving out little tidbits of
insider information. Yeah.
How you're feeling this week, what's the plan, and all that. And I think there's too much. And now you can't bet on props. But I thought they were selling it to us as we don't want the kids to face that pressure.
They sold it to us as, look, these guys were getting it on social media from people. Oh, you didn't score a touchdown today, and I bet you to score a touchdown. And I think it was more of a for show than anything else. But yeah, I mean, it's frustrating, right? Because you can do it. And the problem is, what it does is it leads to people going back to other ways of figuring out how to do it, right? Like going offshore and doing it, or, different things. So I don't think it completely gets away with doing player props amongst college players. It started right around March Madness time. And it's frustrating because you and I, we love to sit there and kind of guess, is this guy going to score a touchdown today, or over under number of catches for this wide receiver? Or it was a fun topic, and it was a new way to get involved with it. But yeah, it's a little disappointing that it's gone.
Well, you'll hear more in the Buckeye Bulletin about that, about criticism. Here's the difference: these guys grow up on social media. They all have pages. They all get it. Yeah. I think they deal with it better than people that are double their age, because they're not used to that. These kids grew up in that world of social media. So you know what? Whatever, change your screen name or do whatever you need. But I'm okay with it. It's fine. I don't need it. But you and I had a lot of fun with it, when it first started. The problem when you're doing props for teams like Ohio State in games where they're favored by 40 or 50 points, you just don't know if they're going to get enough reps to be able to get to the number you're talking about. So you've decided to not wait and not care, and this is a good way to actually predict the season a little bit. So you've come up with some Ohio State prop fizz for us today.
Yeah, on my show on Sunday with Dave Biddle, we are going to go through 20 different props. It's always been my dream, Anthony, to be a odds maker, right? And so I decided, let's look at this Ohio State season and let's come up with 20 different things that we're going to go head to head on. And it'll be a little contest. We'll put like a lunch or something on the line. But what I did was 20 different Ohio State props for the entire season. And I'm going to pick out 5 for you today to kind of go over. And I'll start out with the first one, because I think this one is one that a lot of fans have already been talking about. And that is, which running back ends the regular season with more rushing yards? Is it Travion Henderson or Quinshon Judkins? So A or B here, who you taking? And I think this is one that a lot of people have already been talking about.
Yeah, so this is the big if game. This is the hypothetical one with Henderson and his health. Because if he didn't have the history he has, I'm probably taking him. Judkins is certainly a guy that Travion welcomed into this offense. He's a star in his own right. We know Travion has the home run ability, and maybe he will stay healthy because this is counterintuitive. He can stay healthy by less carries because Judkins will take some off his plate, but also that ruins the prop part of it. If he doesn't get, the lion's share of that. Listen, I would put their props right around the same. I think they both could be 1,000-yard backs in this offense, depending on how many yards they get early on in the season and how Chip Kelly and Ryan Day want to manage them and keep them healthy. That worries me a little bit for Henderson, even though I think he's as talented or more talented, but it's the games that he's missed, and that would worry me. Judkins comes in with so much more of a carry load, from where he was at Ole Miss, so I'm going to lean Judkins, but it doesn't feel like anything more than a coin flip.
Yeah, I think it's very close. In fact, Henderson, 2,745 career rushing yards. Quinshawn, 20 less than him. It's unbelievable how close they are as far as career rushing yards. And I'm with you. I worry about the durability a little bit with Travion. Travion gets 6 yards per carry over his career. Quinshawn 5. It'll be fun to track for sure.
Because you really have to manage that this entire season.
Yeah,
the best you can.
And as an odds maker, I appreciate that you think it is a coin flip because that's what I'm looking for.
Correctly,
I want action on both sides, so that makes me happy. Maybe I'll get action on both sides of this one from you. Will Ohio State have a Heisman Trophy finalist this year? Stars all over the place. Caleb Downs, Will Howard. Will Howard would be the favorite of all the Buckeyes to do it. There's been a lot of push about Jeremiah Smith, and maybe he has that year. Maybe it's a Mecca. Maybe it's Travion. Maybe it's Quinshawn. There's a lot of options.
Yeah.
But will Ohio State have a Heisman finalist this year?
So here's the interesting part. When you dropped Caleb Downs in there, listen, if he has some picks, if they put him on offense and he gets a little of the Charles Woodson treatment, then all of a sudden, if he scores on offense and they're really good, would I put him, because you just said a finalist, right? Which is probably thinking top 4.
Yeah, top 4, top 5. Yep.
It's tough to win it. It's tough to even get there. Maybe they'd like to have a position player there, but it'd be tough to get a defensive guy there. If he does do what a lot of people are clamoring for, which is give him the ball on offense, then, but I'm going to err on the side of safety here. And the only real one for me would be Will Howard. And I just don't think that, although if he's running wild and scoring touchdowns himself, but will he be better? You know what's a big one in this? I know it's early, but whoever looks sharper in the head-to-head game at Eugene, that could be a big, lead in that for Gabriel versus him.
Absolutely. Because Gabriel is the favorite. Most of the money is coming in on Dylan Gabriel to win the Heisman.
Yeah.
So
I just don't think
makes sense.
It just doesn't feel like it's going to be a stat monster year unless he scores a lot. And then if he does that, and he brings that element to the table, I'm going to say they'll be on the outside looking in for the Heisman. It's not a good feeling because they're going to be a very, very good team. But like I said in the very beginning, if this is all for one for all, then don't worry about it. I'll say no on the Heisman finalist, but it's close.
And we know the Buckeyes put a lot of guys in New York, including
How do you
Marvin
feel
last
about
year.
that? Where would you lean?
I would probably lean no, but I think you made a great point. If Will Howard and Ohio State goes to Oregon and wins that game, I think there's a great chance that Will Howard
he'd have to outdo him, though.
Yeah.
Not just a win. He'd have to be a big part of it, which he should if they're going to do it. But
if Ohio State's 13-0, boy, there's a great chance they'll have a Heisman finalist, whether it's Will Howard or one of these other stars. There's so many stars on this team, and that kind of hurts a little bit when you have so many stars, which guy ends up in New York. Next question, prop that I came up with. Ohio State and Oregon are obviously the two favorites in the Big Ten. And then you kind of get Penn State third and Michigan fourth. But my prop question is, will Ohio State and Oregon play in the Big Ten championship game? So it'd be a rematch.
Yeah, I think they will. It feels like it. Obviously the team that loses that game is feeling like they're chasing a little bit, but Oregon can certainly get some help from Ohio State by beating Penn State and beating Michigan. They can get some help there. When you start thinking about Oregon, if they were to lose to Ohio State at home, they just have to make sure they go to Michigan and win. Like, that would be a big one. But Michigan, who knows what they're going to be, if anything. I do worry about one thing, and I've said this on our show with Matty. I don't know if anyone's looked at their schedule the way I have, because I keep repeating this over the last couple months. But when they host Ohio State in mid-October, right after that, they fly to West Lafayette, then back home to play Illinois, then to Ann Arbor, then back home to play Maryland, then back to Madison to play Wisconsin, then back home with a bye week to take on Washington. Somebody's going to get them that shouldn't, based on jet lag and travel and time and body clock. It wouldn't surprise me if they lost at Wisconsin on November 16th in a look-ahead game to Washington. Like, honestly, with all that travel catching up, but they're so talented, they shouldn't slip up in the preseason, so I'm going to answer that yes.
And I'm going to answer it no. And the reason why is I feel like there's a good chance Oregon does, as you said, drop one or two that you don't quite expect. And if you look at Penn State's schedule, and I know they have to play Ohio State, that game's at home. If you look at the rest of that Penn State schedule, it is very doable for them to go 11-1 and get to the Big Ten championship game. So I would just take the field and not
what
Ohio
about
State
all the
and
tiebreakers
Oregon.
we're going to have to deal with? Because here's the other thing. What if Oregon beats Ohio State and then loses one of those other ones?
Yeah, I know.
Then all of a sudden they've got the leg up on Ohio State. But if Ohio State's only losses to Oregon, you're good there, but they lose the head-to-head tiebreaker. I agree with you, like Penn State's schedule is decent. I don't know what USC is going to really be, but they do have to go out there. And I'll tell you, that little run of at USC, at Madison, and against Ohio State, that's a little bit of a murderer's row for Penn State where they are. So I wouldn't be surprised. They're certainly going to lose one of those, maybe two. So I'm still going to ride with the rematch.
Okay. All right. So I will disagree. That's the first one you and I disagree with on there. Next, again, we're doing Ohio State season props. It's kind of the you can't do it normally, but I have kind of come up with 20 different questions. I'm giving you 5.
Can't do it legally.
Yeah. Yes.
I think it changed normally to legally.
Yeah. Okay. So next question. How many regular season games will Ohio State score 50 points? They are a 50.5 point favorite in week 1 against Akron. I want to know how many you think they will score 50 in.
I think the over-under for me is 2.5.
But I need a number. I'm not doing over.
No, I know.
How many?
I'm working through it, my man.
Okay.
50 or more. I think this team could accidentally score 50 even if they're not trying, because of the depth they want to play and those guys they're going to want to impress. Like, even if you take out the starters, Ohio State usually doesn't lock it down, right? I mean, those guys need to get work. It's a long season, and those guys want to impress. 50 is a pretty robust number. Now, you had 50, I believe, was it only one time last year?
One time last year against Western Kentucky, and that was, they scored like 60, what did they score? 64?
63 or something like that, yeah. I would say, give me, boy, when they come into their own late, 50's the 50 burger is so tough. I'm going to say it's either 1 or 2.
Okay, I would actually go over that.
I'll lean 2.
Okay, I'll lean 3. Really? I can tell you in 22, Ohio State went over 50 4 times. Yeah. And in that same year, they had 2 games where they scored 49. I think it's going to be something similar to that, where you get multiple games over 50 versus last year.
I mean, yes, and they've always had talent. But when you think about Marvin and CJ and the amount of yards that Stroud was throwing for at the end, the running game certainly wasn't getting them to those points. It was the passing game. But okay, you're going 3?
Yeah, I want to throw a curveball at you on this one. Again, Ohio State season prop contest. Yeah. Which quarterback will throw for more passing yards? Julian Sayin or Devin Brown? We expect, Will Howard to be out of games, hopefully in blowout situations. Who throws for more yards throughout the year?
Devin's the backup right now, correct?
Technically, yeah.
Sayin's going to get some time. I think the fun answer would be Julian Sayin. I'm a safe conservative guy, so I'm going to go Devin, and that he's played games, he's thrown passes. I think this race was close, maybe not close enough. I mean, the perception always was Will, and that the favorite came through, but I'm going to go Devin on the passing yards. He's just going to get more opportunities, I think.
I'm going to go Sayin, and I think that Ryan Day is going to realize some of the mistakes from the past where they have not given young quarterbacks enough experience because you feel like Sayin is probably the guy next year. I think most people think that's the case.
True.
And so you got to give him more experience going forward. So I believe that I would take Sayin over Brown as far as the passing yards for the year.
Yeah, I may have to reconsider that one. It just feels like more of a fun answer.
Can I throw one more out at you?
Real quick.
Okay. Most receiving yards for the season, Emeka or Jeremiah?
Emeka. Yeah.
Emeka had
close.
Only 515 last year.
I mean, I thought you were going to ask me about Carnell versus Jeremiah. That might even be tougher. Yeah, I mean, he's the top receiver on the depth chart. I know that the circus catches that Jeremiah can make, and he should. But the Mr. Reliable is probably going to be Emeka.
That's probably the right call.
We come back. Who goes in the pressure cooker? Find out next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Common Man has spent the past 18 years telling you how much he hates people. And yes, that probably means you, too. Common Man and T-Bone.
Weekdays at 3.
The Fan.
The Columbus Men's Clinic opened in 2014 for guys who get it done. Let's talk, fellas. You solve problems all day at work. You fix your sink when it's broken. But when it comes to ED and low T, it doesn't get done. We get it. You hate going to the doctor, but you're the guy that fixes things. At the Columbus Men's Clinic, there's nothing to fear and no reason to delay. We've been destroying bedroom boredom for a decade. So if you haven't fixed this, call us. When the pills fail, call us. If you feel like you've tried everything, call us. Here, there's hope. From the conventional to the next level. You'll be seen by our friendly, discreet physician who will take the time to listen. Imagine finally taking care of this with no surgery. Imagine going from feeling gray to living life in vibrant color. It's time to be confident. Join the thousands of guys who have found success after walking through our doors. Will you be one of them? Dial 614-300-7400 or go to ColumbusMen'sClinic.com to schedule a $99 male performance consultation, including blood work. Do it for you. Do it for her. ColumbusMen'sClinic.com. Book your appointment now.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every home run, every hit, every inning, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar.
See for yourself when you sign up today and get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply.
Bob's Discount Furniture is coming to Polaris, and Bob's Discount Furniture wants you to win big this football season. It's easy. Get online and go to 971thefan.com to register to win a $1,000 gift card to Bob's Discount Furniture, so you can watch your favorite football team sitting in your new Bob's recliner or couch this season. Wow. That's $1,000 from Bob's Discount Furniture. All you have to do is register to win on the Fans Contest page at 971thefan.com. Hurry, contest ends Wednesday, August 28th. See complete contest details online at 971thefan.com.
We don't talk about politics on the Fan. Instead, we welcome Buckeyes fans, NFL fans, and anyone looking to escape the never-ending cycle of misery. You're safe here, friends. The Fan, home of the Buckeyes and Ohio's politics-free destination.
We're dealing at Reichert Nissan. Hundreds of Nissans in stock, on the ground, and priced to sell fast. Low lease payments on brand new Reichert Nissan Sentras, only $219 a month. Now we're really dealing. With our lowest prices and 72-hour exchange policy, you can't buy the wrong car. Visit the Reichert Mega Mall off 270 and 33 or shop thousands of new and certified used at ReichertNissan.com. We're dealing.
With approved credit. 2024 Sentra SB FWD 36-month lease with $3,000 due at signing. Offer ends 9/3/24.
It's the summer sell down at Performance. Get up to $16,000 off MSRP on new 24 Jeep Wranglers and Grand Cherokees during the Make This the Summer of Jeep event. Performance, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Georgesville, and Delaware.
Not valid on previous sales. Cannot combine offers. Must take delivery from dealer stock 8/20 to 8/31/24.
We know your golf game is ugly, but your course doesn't have to be. Experience the natural beauty of Delaware Golf Club today. Delaware Golf Club is now open to the public and only 10 miles up the road from 270. For the best rates, book your tee time online at DelawareGolfClub.com.
Sanctuary cities are releasing dangerous illegal immigrant criminals onto Ohio streets with Senator Sherrod Brown's support. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement reported 29 criminal aliens released in just a few weeks' time in Franklin County alone, including Edgar Moreno Soto, charged with felony firearms, drugs, released. Hajir Muhammad, failure to register as a sex offender, released. Manuel Vasquez Sanchez, domestic violence, assault, and menacing, released. And the list goes on. But Senator Sherrod Brown voted 10 times to protect sanctuary cities in Ohio that release dangerous illegal immigrant criminals back onto our streets. Call Senator Sherrod Brown at 216-522-7272 and tell him to support S1068, the Stop Dangerous Sanctuary Cities Act, and start protecting Ohio families, not dangerous criminal illegals who shouldn't even be in the country. Paid for by One Nation. www.onenationamerica.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We're looking at more warm weather this afternoon. Highs in the mid-80s. Humidity stays low, meaning it will still be comfortable, but warm. Sunshine all day long. Will be clear tonight. Temperature down to around 60. Up in the upper 80s, near 90 Saturday, with mostly sunny skies. Partly cloudy, more humid, and 91 on Sunday. That's your latest 10 weather impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Rothman and Ice present Under Pressure.
Sponsored by United Dairy Farmers.
All right, who's going in the pressure cooker? All right, so I'm going to identify something out of this golf deal today. So just to bring you up to date, the top 50 dudes in the FedEx point standings are Castle Pines. That's outside Denver. I don't know if you knew this, but Castle Pines measures about 81.30 right now.
Jeez.
So it's the longest course in PGA Tour history. Now, if you noticed yesterday, that high above sea level, those guys are hitting drives that are rolling out to 430. Like, it's unbelievable. I need to go there just to feel what that would be like.
Do you think we would drive at 300 there?
I don't. I mean,
we're usually, 230 to 240 at the best?
I mean, if they're normally 310, 315, and they're rolling out to 430, so
they're getting 100.
We can't add 100 to us.
No.
So take half of that, maybe. I don't think
we might get to 290.
Maybe. So now I think it'll play more like 7,300. I would take off 800 or 900 based on the elevation. But the pressure is on two people or two things: the caddies, who have the most in shape caddy, who's going to be walking up and down those hills, 8,100 plus, because that doesn't change for them, plus the thin air. And then the top 30 are going to advance to next week's Tour Championship at East Lake in Atlanta. The winner gets $25 million of the $100 million in the FedEx bonus. So I looked at the top dudes that are on the bubble and bring up the leaderboard quickly. I'm going to put it on Keegan Bradley. So outside of his runner-up finish at Sony in January, and then you add that Charles Schwab Challenge in late May, he has one top 25 finish in his past 7 starts. Where is he now? He had such a good day yesterday.
He has not started today, so he is still tied for third, 6 shots back.
All right, so he led after round 1, I think, or was tied somewhere in there.
He was the leader.
So here's where he has to finish. This is where I put the pressure on him. He's got to be 9th or better to advance if he's 50 right now. And the other part about it is, I know he's captaining the Ryder Cup next year. I think that'd be awesome if he could finish, if he could get to the Tour Championship, also being the Ryder Cup captain, and all he has to do is finish 9th after leading after day 1. I'm going to put it on Keegan. He's on the bubble big time.
I think that's a good call. I'm going to put my pressure on Florida State tomorrow. Look, we are less than 23 hours away from college football kicking off. Love it. Now, the story at the end of the regular season last year was Florida State being left out of the playoffs, and there was so much crying and anger. I still look back at that and think that they probably should have been in. Again, it's a whole nother season and all that stuff, but they earned it by having an undefeated record in a power conference. But they did a lot of whining about it.
They weren't the same team at all.
I get it. But if you deserve to be in, you deserve to be in. But again, that's such a long ago argument.
Well, that's when you get to the best versus most deserving conversation, and they certainly weren't one of the 4 best.
Sure. But I'm putting pressure on them because week 1, tomorrow, actually week 0, they're taking on Georgia Tech, and they're a 10.5-point favorite in that game. That game is in Ireland. You can't have a season like you just had, do all the whining that you did about not getting into the playoff, and then go lay an egg in week 0, first day the next year. So I'm putting the pressure on the Seminoles.
All right, new season. I won't heap that much pressure on them, but I'll heap the pressure on them because they're a big double-digit favorite, and they probably should win the game. Let me go to baseball. I'm just kind of eyeballing the standings right now. And the Giants, San Francisco Giants, are kind of right where I thought they'd be about this time. So they're 3.5 back in the wild card race. They have 65 wins with 33 to play. So my guess is they probably need to win about 22 of those 33 to get in. They didn't sweep the White Sox. They just took 2 out of 3. Yes, those White Sox, the 31-97 White Sox. The Giants' next 3 are at Seattle. Seattle's 5 back in the West. And then the following 3 are at Milwaukee. They're first place in the Central. So their next 6 games are against teams that definitely have a lot to play for. You know, the Giants strike out more than most. They only hit 240 as a team or something like that. So they're middle of the pack there. They're middle of the pack or late pack in ERA. This is the key stretch if they want to stay in the race at all. So I'm going to put it on the Giants. These next 6 feel like it's it for them.
So 8 days away now from kickoff for Ohio State. And I'm going to put a little bit of pressure on Caleb Downs because of all the players, all the new Buckeyes I'm excited to watch, Quinshawn and Jeremiah Smith and Will Howard. I think Caleb Downs is the guy who I'm most excited to see next Saturday in a Buckeye uniform. And he put out a quote recently. He said the Buckeyes could have one of the most elite defenses to ever play in this game. And so I will say the pressure when all the words and all the preseason talk.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot of pressure on Caleb Downs because there's high expectations.
If you made me pick a Buckeye, I would probably put it on Will Howard just based on being the hired gun. And everyone thinking that is the missing link.
Well, and the position.
Yeah, and the position, of course. All right, I'm going to stay with quarterback, and I'm going to make an audible here on the fly. Because I was thinking it's Russell Wilson because he is playing tomorrow night. But that's a coin flip anyway. If he's starting or not, I don't know. He still gets paid millions of dollars. I don't know how much pressure he's really feeling. I'm going to probably put it on Deshaun Watson. I feel like if I look at the quarterbacks in the NFL right now and the guys that have the most pressure, it might be Tua because he just got paid, or it's probably Deshaun because he had been paid. You get a fully guaranteed $230. You have a team that people think is a playoff team. He's 8-4 as a starter. He's missed 11 games over a couple years. He was suspended, then missed more due to injury. I just feel like this is it. If anybody wants to think that he's the guy they traded for, this is it. And by the way, the talent's in there. If he's there, Cleveland suddenly becomes a really viable playoff team as a Super Bowl contender if he can get to where the guy they traded for. So I don't think there's anybody outside of maybe Aaron Rodgers that I would feel that would have to carry a team. I know the defense can carry them, but to get to where I just said, an AFC title game or something like that, Deshaun has to be that guy.
I'm so glad you brought him up because looking at the Browns, I feel like they have a top 5 offensive line. They have a top 5 defensive line. They've got weapons. Amari Cooper, we saw what he did at the end of the year. I think I agree with you. The pressure is on Deshaun.
And this was fair or unfair, but I'm going to put more pressure on him because he may not have a perfect Nick Chubb. And then it all really kind of goes on more of his arm than they lean into the identity of what they've been, which is Chubb. All right, we will come back and we'll visit with our friend Brenden Deeg, the NFL news editor at The Score. Best rookie quarterback this year. Could we have a situation where we have kind of a Bryce Young regret this year based on what Stroud did? Can that happen again this year? We'll ask him. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
The sound of Paul Keels calling a Buckeye game is erotic.
Oh, yes.
Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Let's talk about your sleep, specifically if you're not getting enough of it. If you're feeling groggy all day because you didn't sleep well, that is an awful feeling. I've been there. And if you're snoring when you sleep, well, that could be a big reason why you aren't feeling rested. This fact surprised even me the first time I heard it, and that is as you age, your risk of having obstructive sleep apnea nearly doubles. That's right. You need to find out if your snoring is related to sleep apnea, because if it is, there's actually help available for you right now. Dr. Mark Levy is board certified in the treatment of sleep apnea, and he offers a custom-fitted oral appliance that effectively treats sleep apnea. I have been telling you about this for years. And maybe you've been snoring for years. Now's the time to get this fixed. Plus, most Medicare patients have little to no out-of-pocket costs for this treatment. So you need to stop putting it off. Don't ignore your snore. Get your sleep apnea treated by calling Dr. Mark Levy today at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. Get the life back you deserve. Call Dr. Mark Levy today, 1-800-MORE-SLEEP, or visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com.
Are you ready to turn your passion for media into a career? Ohio Media School is the place for you. With hands-on training in radio, television, sports broadcasting, and digital media, you'll gain the skills and experience you need to succeed. Don't wait. Classes are starting soon. Visit beonair.com and take the free assessment to get started. Enroll today and take the first step towards your dream career. Ohio Media School. Your future in media starts here. Visit beonair.com. beonair.com. Enroll now.
Hey, it's Anthony here from my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. Rich is rolling out all of his new Hondas at 2.9% up to 60 months, just not including the Civic Si and Civic Type R, but all the other awesome new Hondas, 2.9%. You love certified? He has the dream deal, 0.99% APR for 36 months on the 23s and 24s, Civics, HRVs, CRVs, pilots, and passports. When you think Honda, you have to visit Germain Honda of Dublin, Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
There's nothing like having Common Man and T-Bone resting on your bosom.
Oh, for someone with no breasts, you've done very well for yourself.
Gross. Pick up the latest T-shirt in the fan store or pick up merch from a show you actually like. We even have Ohio State and jacket stuff. Head to 971thefan.com.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. If you need a new roof but you're not sure you can afford it, no problem. Right now, Able Roof is offering no payments, no interest until 2026 for qualified buyers. Yep, that's the same Able Roof that's been voted the #1 roofing company in Columbus by Consumer Choice Awards 22 years in a row. Want more? Able Roof will give you up to $1,000 off a new roof, siding, or windows. This is a limited time offer, so call Able Roof today.
Call Able for the proof. 444-ROOF.
Bridge Credit Union is here to help you reach your financial goals. For over 50 years, we have been serving Central Ohio and surrounding communities by delivering an exceptional member experience. We offer a variety of virtual service options that allow you to transfer money, apply for a loan, make a deposit, and monitor your credit score. Our services are secure, reliable, and easy to use. Whether you're inside our branches, online, using our mobile app, or using text banking, we have you covered. Visit us today at bridgecu.org and experience the Bridge difference.
Something amazing is happening in networking. Organizations are scaling with less stress. That's because CDW is designing and implementing intelligent HPE Aruba networking solutions that simplify and secure operations. With automation at the center of your data center, growing pains can be a thing of the past. HPE Aruba Networking and CDW. Make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/Aruba.
You've got to watch your NFL team every Sunday, and Verizon's got you covered for all your team's out-of-market games every Sunday afternoon. Come on! From kickoff to sign-off, from first downs and touchdowns to turnovers and overturned plays.
After review, the pass was incomplete.
Nice! Let's go! This season, win every Sunday with Verizon. Get a great deal on NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV and a new phone. Excludes digital-only games. Terms and embargoes apply.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Their live golf team name is Ice Dogs. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, we did our fantasy draft order live on the air in the first segment.
Loved it.
And you loved it. I hated it. That's the way it falls. But our man, Brenden Deeg, is with us, and he will make everything right when it comes to talking about the NFL. He's the NFL news editor at the Score. BD, welcome back, my man.
Anthony, Scotty, how we doing?
Feeling okay. I want to get your opinion on how close you think we are to having another conversation after this year on whether the Bears picked the right quarterback. I'm thinking this isn't a Bryce Young regret situation where we are now with the C.J. Stroud versus Bryce Young. But how close do you think it'll be at the end of the season where we say, they should have taken Jaden Daniels or somebody else?
Oh, no, I'm all in on Caleb Williams. I was very high on him during this draft process. I thought he was one of the best first overall picks of the last 10, 15 years. He's looked great in preseason. I don't know if you saw that over-the-shoulder throw he made scrambling. He had that dart to, I believe it was Keenan Allen. Roma Dunes in the back of the end zone. He just couldn't stay in bounds. I think a lot of people were kind of harping on his last year at USC compared to his Heisman winning year at USC. He had nothing going for him. last year around him. Like Taj Washington was like his top target. They had one of the worst offensive lines in the country. Lincoln Riley's offense really took a step back because his offense really relies on good offensive line play, and without it, it really struggled. He was playing hero ball a lot, but he still put up like 3,600 yards, like 30 touchdowns. He only had a 1.3% interception ratio, which is amazing considering how much hero ball he had to play. I think the Bears made the right pick. I thought he was the clear best quarterback in the draft class, and I have the Chicago Bears making the playoffs. I'm doing my division preview series for my podcast right now. We just finished the NFC North. I have 3 teams from that division making it, and I stuck the Bears, and I think they're going to be a 6 or 7 seed, and I think they're really talented. They just made a trade to get Darrell Taylor from the Seattle Seahawks, which that was an absolute steal. I think Caleb Williams is going to shine. I think he wins Rookie of the Year. I think the Bears make the playoffs.
Wow, love that call. And I want to talk a little bit more about division strength, but I want to go to the AFC North. And to me, AFC North has been the best division in the NFL. It will be again this year. Since 2020, AFC North, 62% of the time, they have won non-division games. And I think that's a great way to measure these teams. And last year, they became the first division since 1935 to have all their teams finish with the winning record. Now, if you were to handicap how you think the AFC North goes this year, Ravens have been the betting favorite. Do you believe they are the best team in the division?
Yeah, so we just recorded the AFC North actually on my podcast, the Double Dunk Podcast. By the way, hit that subscribe button. I took the Ravens to win the division. I think the loss of Mike McDonald is big, and they also lost Anthony Weaver, who's now the defensive coordinator in Miami. So they lost a lot of defensive minds in that building, but I just think there's too much talent around the team. I think Lamar Jackson can even take a step up on the off, from his passing aspect of this with another year with Todd Monken. I think they were 4th in offensive DVOA last year. I think they can be a top 2 offense. Just another year of getting used to the offense. They struggled the first half of the season. Not struggled, but they were doing about average, and then they took off towards the end of the year. So I think it just took some time to kind of get used to this new offense, not the Greg Roman power offense that they used to run, kind of a more of 11 personnel modern offense that Todd Monken brought. And I think Justin Matabuke is a superstar. Roquan Smith's a superstar. I still think they're just too talented. And I just have more questions about the other teams in the AFC North. I think the Cincinnati Bengals are going to be a threat this year, and I do think they're going to make the playoffs and finishing second. But the vibes are just a tad off there right now. I know it's kind of a hometown team here that I'm speaking to, but the T. Higgins apparently is just not giving full effort at camp. Jamar Chase hasn't practiced yet. There's just something steering me away from saying they're going to win 12, 13 games and win the division, but I do think there's too much talent there. If everything comes together, they still have one of the best offenses. I think Joe Burrow can still be an MVP candidate if all goes well. So I had 2 teams making the playoffs in that division. I think the Ravens are going to win it. I think the Bengals get a wild card spot, and then the Pittsburgh Steelers. I couldn't get there with the quarterback play. I just think there's too many question marks, and I have serious questions about the Cleveland Browns with Shaw. It's another hometown team. Sorry, guys, but I just have some serious questions regarding him staying healthy for the full year. He wasn't great last year when he was on the field. I do like the roster, and I think their defense is still very good, but I just think there's too many good teams in that division. It's hard to kind of pick 3 from that one, so I only went to Cincinnati Bengals and the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, it's not off. I mean, the Browns are intriguing. We talked about them, and you're right. The Nick Chubb, we don't know what the impact he can have, all the pressure that's on Deshaun. Yes, they can ride that defense. And I'm with you on the Bengals. I mean, they're just too talented with Burrow to not be a playoff team. But you're right. They have to come together. Remember, they also traded Mixon to Houston. I like Chase Brown. I like Zach Moss, but they're going to have to combo that up. But you're right. It's Burrow's return. And if he's healthy, then all things feel possible. Where are you on the Cowboys versus Eagles? I feel like the Eagles bounce back feels safer to me. And I'm even including that CD's going to be there and be okay. Because we know, listen, Dallas won the East 12-5. Here we go. I mean, Dak had one of his better years, but I almost feel like I'd rather lean towards Eagles in that division.
Yeah, I think they're both 2 of the most interesting teams almost in the league right now. They're both there could be 3 new head coaches in the NFC East this year, and Brian Daboll, Mike McCarthy, and Nick Sirianni gone if all falls off the cliff for all 3 of them. But both teams have had coaches on the hot seat, right? The Eagles shopped around for Bill Belichick. They checked in on him this offseason, and Mike McCarthy's on the final year of his contract. He's not under payroll once the season ends this year. So I think the Eagles are going to win this division. I have them winning about going 11-6, maybe 12-5. I think 11-6 seems fair. The problem with the Eagles is that they were so bad the last time we saw them. They lost 6 of their last 7 games. They were one of the worst teams, if not the worst team almost in the NFL. Their defense finished 30th in EPA per play for the season. How quickly can they transition from the defense from last year to this complicated system with Vic Fangio? They still have questions in the secondary, lots of young guys. But I think on offense, there's too much talent. They made the Jahan Dawson trade yesterday. I thought he's a perfect fit for wide receiver 3, Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert. Can't get better than that. It's arguably the best 5 set of weapons that any quarterback has in the NFL. And then Dallas, I really think their offense is going to be fine. CeeDee Lamb, that contract is going to get solved in the next week or two. I don't think this kind of tails off into the beginning of the regular season. But the defense is also a huge question. Dan Quinn's out the door. He, as bad as they looked in that Packers game, they've been one of the most solid defenses under him for quite a while. They have defensive tackle issues right now. Monty Smith is not doing well in training camp. He also had an allergic reaction and missed a couple days of training camp. They just signed Linval Joseph. They traded for Jordan Phillips, so they're kind of going the veteran route here to figure that out. I'm just worried that their run defense is going to be very good, and then they all kind of they go from a top 7 defense over the last 3 years to maybe the bottom 10, because you're really relying on Trayvon Diggs to have a big year. Can Deron Bland replicate his crazy interception season? So I just have more questions about the Cowboys than I do the Eagles, and I do think that the Eagles win that one.
So for a lot of people around here, there's a lot of love for Justin Fields. And obviously we know that the battle between Russell Wilson and Justin Fields goes on. But I want to get your perspective. Get out the crystal ball. How does this season play out as far as playing time for Fields and Wilson in your mind?
Yeah, I'm fascinated to see what the decision is. Mike Tomlin has to announce the decision soon, right? Season starts 13 days, so a starting quarterback's got to get named at some point. I think they ultimately go with Russell Wilson to lead the season. I do think it's a mistake. If I'm the Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm running Justin Fields out there. I think he just brings a higher ceiling to your offense just from his running aspect. The throwing stuff still might not all be there. He could still missed throws. We saw that he had there was one that was kind of going viral on Twitter where I think it was George Pickens or Deontay Johnson. He overthrew him preseason. Not Deontay Johnson, sorry, he's gone. It might have been George Pickens or Roman Wilson where he overthrew him in preseason, and the whole world kind of blew on fire. He's still making the same mistake. But the Pittsburgh Steelers are built to run the football. They've got a juicy, a big up-front offensive line. And Isaac Seumalo, I know Zach Frazier's going to step in at center now. That Nate Herbig went down for the year, but Zach Frazier can still play. Broderick Jones is a mauler in the run game. They were really efficient to run the ball last year. Najee Harris looked like a different player the last half of the season. And I do think Justin Fields adds an element to that where they can just be a top 5 run offense, maybe a mediocre pass offense and have a good defense. That's a formula to win. That's kind of the formula that they've had in previous successful seasons. So I would go with Justin Fields. I think he's a starter by the end of the year. I think Russell Wilson flames out. I'm just not there with him last year. The Denver Broncos paying. Look what the other team is telling you. They're paying him $35 million, $40 million, whatever, to go play somewhere else.
Yeah.
So that should kind of give you what the league thinks of him. And I just ultimately think Justin Fields has a higher ceiling, and I think he should be the starter.
All right, as long as we're on the Steelers, I'll give you a final 10-second answer, and this will be easy because you just pick a name. You're drafting in fantasy. You're on the board. You need a running back. You taking Najee Harris or Jaylen Warren?
Whew, it's a good one. If it's PPR, I'm probably going Warren. I think Jaylen Warren's going to go a lot in the screen game, or they're going to just manufacture touches him in the passing game. But I like I said, I remember I sent a text to my buddy going, did someone replace Najee Harris? Is that the same guy? In the last week of the season, or last few weeks of the season, he looks resurrected, and apparently he's had a good off season and whatnot. So it's a tough one, but I think if you're going full point PPR, I think Warren's going to get more touches in the passing game.
All right, my man, good stuff as always, Brenden. We'll ring you back soon. Thanks, man.
You guys are the best. Enjoy your weekend.
Thanks. Brenden Deeg, NFL news editor at The Score, covering the league top to bottom there. When we come back, Buckeye Bulletin, we'll update the poll on the percentage chance the fans think of Ohio State winning the Natty and blocking out the criticism of a certain unit. And will it serve as motivation? That's next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
An ex-jock and a very puffy, smooth-faced man. These are the first voices you should hear. Morning Juice. Your wake-up service.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
The Fan.
It's the summer sell down at Performance. Get up to $16,000 off MSRP on new 24 Jeep Wranglers and Grand Cherokees during the Make This the Summer of Jeep event. Performance Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, Georgesville and Delaware.
Not valid on previous sales. Cannot combine offers. Must take delivery from dealer stock 8/20 to 8/31/24.
With Tire Discounter's new TD Chat BS, we can detect deception over the phone. Let's call a typical tire store.
Yellow, cheapo tire where we bolt them on for less.
Yes, I need tires and lubricant for my vehicle.
Great, come on in. We'll slap on some new tires.
And what about the lubricant exchange?
Oh, yeah. We send you over to Ollie's Oil for that. They're right down the road.
Deception. Destination is 5.2 miles away.
Well, I'll be.
Also, 6 out of 10 cars need alignment.
Well, just travel on over to Alignments or Us.
Calculating time for 2 additional trips.
You mean you want to do tires, oil change, and alignment all in one fell swoop?
Oh, I observed that Tire Discounters, the home of free alignment, is close by.
Ugh, Tire Discounters.
And they are experts at oil changes, brakes, shocks, and...
I'm losing you.
Hello? I'm sorry. Your system has crashed.
Don't miss our Savor the Summer sale, now till Labor Day.
The delicious ice-cold taste of Dr. Pepper has a lasting effect on people. Lindsay from Sacramento said,
Pro tip, 40 degrees is the perfect temperature for an ice-cold Dr. Pepper.
Why is 40 degrees the perfect temperature for Dr. Pepper? We brought in Sue from Duluth, Minnesota to tell us.
Oh, yeah, I know a thing or two about cold. Oh, that right there is the perfect kind of ice cold for Dr. Pepper. I'd share that with my friend Nancy. She likes Dr. Pepper, too, you know. My coldest...
All right, that'll be all, Sue. Having a perfect temperature for your Dr. Pepper? It's a Pepper thing. Inspired by real fan posts.
Does our waiter look familiar?
I think he was the Plum Insurance mascot.
If all insurance companies were like NJM and didn't use gimmicks, then their mascots would have to get real jobs.
That explains the long purple hair in my soup.
No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM.
Wouldn't it be fun if we went back and aired old Buckeye games where they kicked the crap out of people? It's happening, baby. Join Timmy Hall for Buckeye Replay, Saturday at 1.
This week, Ohio State and Oregon in the national title game.
The Fan.
Hi, I'm Joanna Williams, General Manager at Tansky Sawmill Toyota, and this month 0% financing is back by popular demand on the 2024 Toyota Tundra for 48 months. But hurry in before they're gone. Visit TanskySawmillToyota.com for details. And when you think Toyota, think Tansky with approved credit, tax title, and $250 doc fee not included. Offer ends August 30th.
Think Toyota. Think Tansky. Think Tansky.
Integrity, honesty, and quality. Words we live by here at Monogram Homes. Hi, this is Dina. And at Monogram Homes, we strive to bring your wants to your man cave, your needs to your kitchen, and your ideas to life. Most home builders claim to be custom, but starting with stock floor plans and templates isn't our idea of a tailored experience. At Monogram Homes, we start with a blank slate and work with you until you get exactly what you want. So start your true custom home journey today with a builder you can trust. Monogram Homes. Visit us online at monogramhomes.net.
This year, Dell Technologies' Back to School event is delivering impressive tech with an inspiring purpose. Learn how Dell is helping Computer Aid, whose work is helping solar community hubs with tech and AI literacy skills to empower remote, displaced, or disconnected communities around the world. Help Dell make a difference and shop AI-ready PCs powered by Snapdragon X Series processors at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
You've got to watch your NFL team every Sunday, and Verizon's got you covered for all your team's out-of-market games every Sunday afternoon. Come on! From kickoff to sign-off, from first downs and touchdowns
Right.
to turnovers and overturned plays.
After review, the pass was incomplete.
Nice! Let's go! This season, win every Sunday with Verizon. Get a great deal on NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV and a new phone. Excludes digital-only games. Terms and embargoes apply.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Feeling the heat? Call the experts at Logan Services now for hot deals on train systems, including 0% APR for 60 months.
All right, Buckeye Bulletin time. Put out the poll earlier today. What chance, percentage-wise, to give the Buckeyes to win the Natty? Scotty said a very low number for himself. You were at...
I said 35.
Why even play the season? I mean, that's...
I still think that would be better than anybody else.
I just feel like going into this season, if you tell me Ohio State winning a Natty is a coin flip, it just feels a hair low.
That's crazy to me.
Okay.
That is crazy to me.
Well, I bought what Urban and Tress were selling.
guess.
I bought it. Hook, line, and sinker.
Well, so did the
Mark
people.
me down. So these were your choices. 25% or less, 26% to 49%, 50 to 74%, or 75% and higher. My prediction of the winner is actually running third right now. I thought it would be 50 to 74 based on that Ohio State fan would want to inject some confidence in their team but not put the weight of the world on them by going 75 or higher. I am wrong. The weight of the world is on them. And right now, leading the poll at 29.9%.
Ridiculous.
Is 75% and higher. Now, it's really close because 26 to 49, which is your window, is 28.8, and my window, 50 to 74, is 27.7.
By the way, the betting odds, Ohio State between 3-1 and 4-1. A 3-1 would imply you got about a 25% chance of it happening. 4-1, you got about a 20% chance of it happening. So by the odds, Ohio State has about a 20 to 25% chance of winning the national championship. We here in Columbus in the poll say 75% or higher. That's 31% are saying that.
Right now. We'll update it at 2:45 and we'll see where it ends. That's where I put the finish line. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that if we were in a BCS or a Final Four, still, I might be back at the 50% because one slip up, then you need help, and I'd be worried about losing at Oregon, then trying to backdoor in. But I would say now with a 12-teamer, you have this much talent, and you know you're getting in the tournament. That's the last team you want to see. Now, I know it's a long season, but I'll tell you, when you have that much talent and you know you have a get-out-of-jail-free card, and you might even be able to wild card this thing to a title, it just feels like, give me the talent. Give me the talent all day long.
See, I think it's actually harder now with the 12-team playoff because let's say you don't win that Big Ten championship game. You have to win 4 playoff games. You have to win 4 to win a national championship. Before, you needed 2. So I think it's harder to win now than it was previously.
But you're leaning that they're not going to win the Big Ten then. Because what if they do and get the bye? Then not only are you...
But then you still have to play 3. You have the quarterfinal game and then the semi and the final. So it's still harder.
Technically, more games would equal harder.
Yes.
But when you've got the talent, that trumps all.
You're going to have to go and you're going to have to beat a top 8 team before beating a top 4 team. Yes, I think it's significantly harder.
Now, the interesting thing is that... Juan sent us a tweet about it. He said, now that the playoffs are 12 teams, it'll come down to who is the hottest, healthiest, and a little bit of the luckiest.
Yep.
Okay, I'll buy that. He's saying it's kind of like March Madness. I don't think it's that big of a crapshoot. But he said the number 1 goal for Ohio State is to beat Michigan, and the number 2 goal is to win the Big Ten. I would scrap that immediately and say the number 1 goal is to win the Natty. The number 1 goal is to be the last team standing. The number 2 goal is to beat Michigan. And then the number 3 goal is... who cares? Party hard. Like, I feel like there's only 2 goals here this season.
Agree.
Win it all and beat your rival.
And win it all is above beat Michigan. Like, if they lose to Michigan and then go and win the national championship, then
there'd be
all right.
It wouldn't be an empty or hollow feeling. It would feel a little bit lack of complete in that you were the last team standing, losing to your rival for the 4th time in a row. But at the end of the day, you are the last team standing, and that's what this is about. Because if you want to put the March Madness thing on it, say, I mean, the teams that win the title in basketball, they lose a handful of games, 3, 5, 7. Like, it doesn't matter. Once you get in, it's who's playing the best at that time against the best.
What will be fascinating, and we've talked about this previously, but if there's a situation where Ohio State plays Michigan twice, like Michigan somehow gets into the playoffs and Ohio State's in the playoffs and you have that matchup again, and that loss to Michigan happened in the playoffs. Let's say they beat them the first time here in Columbus, and then Michigan still had a good enough... No, I'm saying Ohio State beats Michigan in Columbus, but Michigan still gets into the playoffs and then beats Ohio State in the playoffs. Then it's devastation. Then it's a miserable situation.
And that's why you can't bet on an exacta right now.
Correct.
Because you and I talked about this, about, well, why can't you bet the exacta on like you can the Super Bowl? Well, there's a reason for that. Because you may be eliminated because you may be taking 2 teams that are in the same side of the bracket. Right. Unlike the Super Bowl, where you know you're picking a team that can't get knocked out by the other until the Super Bowl. But yeah, very interesting. The other part of this is blocking out the noise and being the most hyped team in the country and how they're going to handle that. Josh Fryer talked about it, and I know he's an upperclassman, and he's a guy that's been around, and he's a Midwestern kid, but he was talking about how that offensive line took a lot of heat, maybe rightfully so, and that's something they had to live with.
We always have a chip on our shoulder. I think Seth talks about it best. I think it's what drives us. Seth's supposed to be the worst center in the country. I'm supposed to be. People don't like me as right tackle. Teger's slow. Donnie's supposed to be gone in the NFL. Josh Simmons doesn't know what he's doing. Like, everybody has an opinion about us, but it bothers you, especially when you get DMs from Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff, or Buckeye fans comment on your girlfriend's post about you, saying some very explicit stuff. I can't repeat it, but yeah, it's tough. But at the same time, like, now I know how to control it because it's social media. Like I said, it's an opinion. You shouldn't really care about it because those guys are behind a keyboard.
It's good to hear, Josh. It's really good to hear. It isn't easy for any human being. Some guys lean into it. Some guys want to go into Twitter battles online. I've never been, but I understand why guys do it because presumably their followers like them. And so if somebody gives you something bad, you retweet it. And then what I've always said, you tell your followers, sick him, get this guy for me. You stay off of it then, you somehow. But I understand what he's going through. I'm glad he's an upperclassman and he's embraced what this world is, unfortunately, at times. But keep your eye on the prize, get the blinders on.
Yeah,
Good candid opinion.
I'm not defending the social media at all. That's terrible. But that position group against Missouri maybe had one of the worst performances of all time in Ohio State football.
How about the last play against Michigan?
Exactly.
Can't miss that.
It was a mess at the end of last year. So the criticism is a little bit legit.
No doubt. That is today's Buckeye Bulletin. All right, when we come back, top of the hour, final hour of the program, we'll get into a deep dive. One analyst who has always really liked Ohio State makes his prediction of the Natty. And Ryan Day on his QB and the traits that can carry them. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
Mega Millions. The Ohio Lottery Mega Millions jackpot is up to $527 million. So I'm shouting it from my rooftop. Go play Mega Millions today. Then help me get down. And don't miss out on the excitement of Keno with 300 draws every day. Pick your numbers. Pick your wagers. Keno is always fun. Your way.
Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. If you are looking for a quality pre-owned vehicle without breaking the bank, Valley Ford of Columbus has great end-of-month deals on certified pre-owned Ford Blue Advantage cars, trucks, and SUVs waiting for you. I bought a pre-owned vehicle at Valley Ford, and you should too. The better deal is at Valley.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Let's talk about your sleep, specifically if you're not getting enough of it. If you're feeling groggy all day because you didn't sleep well, that is an awful feeling. I've been there. And if you're snoring when you sleep, well, that could be a big reason why you aren't feeling rested. This fact surprised even me the first time I heard it, and that is as you age, your risk of having obstructive sleep apnea nearly doubles. That's right. You need to find out if your snoring is related to sleep apnea because if it is, there's actually help available for you right now. Dr. Mark Levy is board certified in the treatment of sleep apnea, and he offers a custom-fitted oral appliance that effectively treats sleep apnea. I have been telling you about this for years. And maybe you've been snoring for years. Now's the time to get this fixed. Plus, most Medicare patients have little to no out-of-pocket costs for this treatment. So you need to stop putting it off. Don't ignore your snore. Get your sleep apnea treated by calling Dr. Mark Levy today at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. Get the life back you deserve. Call Dr. Mark Levy today, 1-800-MORE-SLEEP, or visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. and the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
And I'm Timmy Hall. Let's start with football. It's the last non-Buckeye football weekend coming up here for quite some time, even though the guys have 2 bye weeks this year, one in mid-September. Defensive tackle Tyleek Williams here. Could have a stud season, but he's excited to have 2 studs flanking him in JT Tuimoloau and Jack Sawyer.
Those are my guys. I came in with them. I want to leave with them. I want to win something together with them. So I'm glad we all made a decision to come back. I think it'll help this team greatly and help us greatly, future.
He was talking about Ty Hamilton there, too. I wonder how many sacks those guys will produce this season. Tonight, first high school football game of the week. Pick Central hosts Harvest Prep. Skip Mossick gets us ready for it at 6:30. And in baseball tonight, the Guards are in action hosting the Rangers at 7:10. The Reds are at the Pirates at 6:40. This one is sponsored by Nature Stone. Schedule your free cost estimate today at naturestone.com. Remember, it's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone. Breaking sports news on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and Ice feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Maxima Concrete. Visit MaximaConcrete.com today to schedule your free estimate.
All right, final hour of the program, Rothman and Ice. Anthony Rothman, Scotty Vegas, and our man Cole at the controls today. Thanks for being along for the ride on our first official Football Friday, but we will throw some chin music at the bottom of the hour with our friend Jensen Lewis because of the Guardians and whether they're going to be able to hang on in this race will be very intriguing. We did talk earlier and before the show. I was asking you about, because I know ESPN did a lot today about Bama, and it feels almost insane to say that they wouldn't be in the playoff this year. I mean, for Bama, you hire Kalen DeBoer, and I get it. And Feinbaum was talking about how, and Heather Dinich was talking about how there's no first-year coach since Bear Bryant has ever had less than 4 losses in a season. But to get into the top 12 as Bama seems absolutely insane that they wouldn't. And then you look at their schedule.
Yep.
And you realize why it could easily happen. Could they even get upset at Wisconsin in their non-conference? Possible. Georgia, you would not expect them to win that game, even though they'll be at home. The gauntlet that they have to go through at Tennessee, home against Mizzou, and at LSU is amazing. You get through that, winning 2 out of 3, you got a chance, but then you got to go to Oklahoma for the second last game of the year. So right now, the question I would have for you as the resident handicapper is, are you getting into the top 12 with 3 losses?
I think there will be one team out there, probably an SEC team, that has 3 losses that will get in. Because I started to go through, because you can parlay teams to make the college football playoff. It's actually a really, really fun exercise. Pick 5, 6 teams that you think will get in, and you can be even more aggressive. Try and predict the entire 12, and it's a fun thing to try to do, and you get crazy odds, obviously, the more teams that you add, and Alabama is the one of those teams that you stare at, and you're like, okay, talent, absolutely. History, yeah, it's almost unbelievable to think that Alabama would not make a 12-team playoff, but you and I pulled up that schedule, and it is absolutely brutal. And it starts early with a trip to Wisconsin. That's going to be tough. You got Georgia in there. But I will say this. Kalen DeBoer has been very, very good against top 10 teams. He is 4-1 against top 10 teams. So it's hard to doubt Alabama. I think they'll find their way in. I just don't think that they will be the SEC champ. I think they'll probably be one of those teams that's kind of in the 6 through 10 type seeds.
Yeah, they're closer to missing the playoff than they are to winning the title. However, it's kind of counter to my argument that if they do have a lot of talent, they just get in. It may be the last team you want to see, which is a no-pressure Alabama team.
Absolutely.
By just getting in with 2 or 3 losses. Then all of a sudden it's like, well, they never picked us to win it anyway, and here we are. They might have a little bit of that going. They had a boatload of guys leave for the NFL. So I know you're putting a lot on Kalen DeBoer and his record, but I mean, he can only do so much with the talent. The offense looked pretty good in the spring. I thought Jalen Milroe was good. They had some young tailbacks. That offensive line better get better. They're similar to Ohio State in that. I mean, they allowed so many sacks last year, Bama did. And so they went into the transfer portal. They got a few guys. They got it. I think DeBoer got the kid from A&M. He got safety from Michigan, a couple of Washington transfers, a receiver. Bama may be in a weird spot in that their schedule's really tough, but no one's giving them a lot of respect right now.
Yeah, the interesting thing will be how many from a conference can get in this 12 team. Can four SEC or 4 Big Ten teams make it? I mean, you got to figure that 3 is a lock from the SEC and the Big Ten. So that takes up 6 spots.
3. Georgia.
Well, I'm not saying exactly which 3, but 3.
Georgia, Texas, Ole Miss?
Probably.
All right.
Well, you could maybe argue LSU might find their way in there, but I think you're guaranteed at least 3 from the Big Ten,
Mizzou,
and at least 3 from the SEC.
At least, yeah.
I think you're looking at probably 2 from the ACC, and then probably 2 from the Big 12. So that gets you to 10, and then you get to a group of 5 team, which is an automatic bid. And then there's 1 spot left. And so I think you'll probably get either 4 from the SEC or 4 from the Big Ten.
We just talked about their schedule. I'll run down Texas for you because that'll lead me into Joel Klatt from Fox Sports. And so we have a Sarkisian takes him to a 12-win season. They got a break, I think, with the schedule, even though they've had kind of they've had a big injury this offseason with the running back, Baxter. But when you think about the true road games at Vandy, Arkansas, and yes, they have to go to a rival in A&M. They get the early test, but it's at Michigan. What will they be that early? And then they make the annual trip to Dallas. They'll play Oklahoma there, and then they have a home game against Bama. So offensively, with Quinn Ewers outside of the running back injury, they've got a veteran offensive line. So people behind them should be at least decent behind that O-line. And now the defensive line and the secondary, how improved will they be? They were atrocious against the pass. But if they can score, maybe that's the best defense is a good offense. And there is a guy that really loves them, and he loves them as much as possibly Ohio State, and that's Joel Klatt.
Quinn Ewers gets to play Ohio State in the national championship game. Yes! In Mercedes, down in Atlanta, Ohio State plays Texas. And because Texas let it all hang out, I just don't think that they have enough, and my national champion is going to be Ohio State. I had them as my number 1 team in the preseason. I have them as my number 1 seed in the playoff, and I think that the Buckeyes will go on and win the national championship.
Only put them a lot higher than 35%, my man. And it's hard to argue with that. I mean, you got to pick 2 teams. I'll give them credit for not taking Georgia. Like, leaving Georgia out of the Natty game it's bold. Because when you think about their non-conference opener against Clemson in Atlanta, they have some road games at UK, Bama, Texas, Ole Miss. I don't think they're going to go unbeaten. I mean, again, like through that regular season, that's too much to ask.
It's funny. I was actually reading an article. It had 16 different betting experts and their pick to win it all in the national championship. And 6 had Ohio State, 6 had Georgia, 2 had Oregon, 1 had Bama, 1 had Texas. So it was interesting to me that 12 out of the 16 had either Ohio State or Georgia to win it all. And only 1 had Texas. I know Joel Klatt has Texas in the championship. I would be a little bit worried. They're getting a little bit banged up with running backs as well for Texas. And by the way, we're talking about Texas. This is the first time they're going to go through an SEC schedule instead of going through a Big 12 schedule. So I think that's going to play a huge factor. Is Texas now, generally you're in playing 2 major games in the Big 12. Now you're playing like 5 or 6 in the SEC.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'll go back to Georgia. I mean, that's another team like Ohio State. They're going to get in the tournament outside of something catastrophic. And that will be a team you don't want to see, whether they can run the gauntlet of the 4 games or get the bye. But it's going to be tricky because they have to go to Austin. So that will be big. And they've got to go to Ole Miss. And they've got to navigate that back end of their schedule. They'll always get the breather in the week before the final week. But, yeah, I mean, chalk seems right to me. But in the expanded playoff, you never know. But boy, Texas over Georgia, I can't get there.
Yeah, especially with Carson Beck. I mean, like, the fact that Georgia has that coming back at quarterback is, and the fact that Kirby Smart is 21-8 as a head coach against other top 10 teams. I mean, do you trust Steve Sarkisian, who, by the way, is 4-14 against top 10 teams? I respect the pick. I love Joel Klatt. I just can't get there with Texas getting to the championship over Georgia.
Ole Miss has a really good schedule. They do, and they hit the portal pretty nicely. And that's why everyone is kind of throwing them out there. Jackson Dart is back. Very good player. They've got a really good offense. They lose Judkins. That wasn't good. That would have been a big deal for them in the running back room. But they grab an LSU kid, and their schedule for Ole Miss is fairly doable, Mr. Costanza. They have at LSU, home against Oklahoma, home against Georgia. That's in kind of a 4-week stretch towards the end of their season. So they should be undefeated going to LSU, and then we'll see if they can handle that pressure. The other very interesting thing, go ahead, Scotty.
Well, I was just going to throw a sneaky team out at you, Anthony, because no one's really talking about them because of how they played last year. But Miami is crazy talented, too, and they did a fantastic job in the offseason buying a lot of players, including their quarterback, who's going to be one of the big-name quarterbacks in Cam Ward. And if you look at their schedule, the Miami schedule is pretty favorable as well. So for me, I think a sneaky team is Miami, Florida.
I like it. Cam Ward is there. You mentioned the kid, and they got a kid from Oregon State who's going to run the football for them. The history isn't there.
No.
I mean,
and Cristobal has a history of doing dumb things.
Yeah. They could fall flat. It looks like I'm looking at their roster right now. And yeah, I mean, I like what you have to say about them. I'd have to look at their schedule. So he went 12-13 in their first 2 seasons. Let's check out their schedule real fast. For the
I just
Canes.
Wouldn't be surprised
Home
if
against
they
Florida
end up
State.
as the number 3 seed in the playoffs.
Yeah, so right now they only have one preseason ranked team on their schedule. Yeah. This was kind of funny because the old hot seat Ryan Day has been a very big narrative this offseason. He's done a pretty good job, I think, of walking the tightrope of acknowledging without making it everything. It is a new team. They have to become who they're going to become on their own. Yes, I think, and I've said this before, when you take a really talented team and then you add a big dash of humble pie, which they've got in the last few years, that can be a deadly good combination for them. But everybody knows that this thing has to get to a point where they're an absolute contender. And Desmond Howard, in classic form, decided to talk about Ryan Day and the Buckeyes.
Man, it's like this. I think the people in Ohio State just pushed all of their chips to the center of the table. They went and spent about $13 million on free agents, well, college football's version of free agency with the portal and NIL. Not only that, but some fans would say, well, if we got rid of Ryan Day, who would we hire? They went out and hired Chip Kelly as the offensive coordinator. So if things go awry, I think they have somebody who's behind Chip Kelly. I mean, behind Ryan Day, Chip Kelly, who they say, Chip Kelly can be the next coach too. So I think that Ryan Day, he's on the hot seat right now.
Either he or Brian, one of the two. And I don't. By the way, I don't think that was coincidental. I mean, what I think it was coincidental. I don't think he did it on purpose. I don't think he remembered what his name was. I think he just butchered it. And I'll tell you this: he's not horribly wrong in that a lot of Buckeye fans are pretty happy about Chip Kelly being here, but you're also part of the same regime. So if you fail together. So the guy that's on the staff doesn't automatically become the it guy.
Well, we did see that with basketball with Jake Diebler. We did fail with Chris Holtmann, but he did not go down. And then obviously he took over
the impact of Jake versus what a OC
I agree. I agree. It's different. I'm just bringing up the fact that Diebler was on the staff of Chris Holtmann and then got the job after Holtmann's failure.
Yeah.
So was Brad Larson though, with the Jackets.
Yes.
That didn't work out.
No, because he had an AHL team to deal with. Because of they lost more, they had more injured dudes than anybody. And unfortunately, they overachieved in his first year. They got to a point where the expectations got too weird, and then all the injuries came. That's reality. That's part of it. He knows that, but that's real, man. He did not have the team he thought he was going to have, for sure. But, yeah, it's one of those things where I've heard Buckeye fans mention it. Like, they feel pretty damn confident in Chip Kelly. But if everything goes well, then they're kind of in it together in a weird way. I'm not saying he wouldn't be considered if things went horribly wrong, but
I don't think he would be considered if things went horribly wrong. I mean, to be honest with you, like, look at the time at UCLA. It wasn't exactly spectacular. And since Oregon, it hasn't been spectacular as a head coach.
When we come back, we'll do some pre-snap reads. Stephen A. Yep, putting a little pressure on a certain player. Maybe Brian Flores style. You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
The Big Nine was a sad, incomplete place. Enter Ohio State. The rest is history. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
Nothing makes being outdoors better than having the right gear and the right crew. So here's an idea. Let Mountain Dew supply the gear and you bring the friends. Because when you buy specially marked multi-packs of Mountain Dew, you can collect points and earn epic limited edition outdoor gear. We're talking everything from custom Mountain Dew camp chairs and backpack coolers to exclusive Mountain Dew tents, fishing boats, and more. So buy Dew, collect points, get gear, and get outside with Mountain Dew outdoor gear.
Open to legal U.S. residents 18+. Subject to program terms at dewoutdoors.com and 12/31/24. Void or prohibited.
Driving plays a big part in driving the local economy. It helps us all get where we're going and creates good jobs close to home. At Synovus Energy, our refineries in Toledo and Lima are a reliable domestic source of gasoline, diesel, and jet fuel. Plus, more than 2,300 employees and contractors work for us here in Ohio. See how we're helping local communities move forward at Synovus.com.
Bob's Discount Furniture is coming to Polaris, and Bob's Discount Furniture wants you to win big this football season. It's easy. Get online and go to 971thefan.com to register to win a $1,000 gift card to Bob's Discount Furniture, so you can watch your favorite football team sitting in your new Bob's recliner or couch this season. Wow. That's $1,000 from Bob's Discount Furniture. All you have to do is register to win on the Fans Contest page at 971thefan.com. Hurry, contest ends Wednesday, August 28th. See complete contest details online at 971thefan.com.
Hi, I'm Joanna Williams, General Manager at Tansky Sawmill Toyota, and this month 0% financing is back by popular demand on the 2024 Toyota Tundra for 48 months. But hurry in before they're gone. Visit TanskySawmillToyota.com for details. And when you think Toyota, think Tansky with approved credit, tax title, and $250 doc fee not included. Offer ends August 30th.
Think Toyota. Think Tansky. Think Tansky.
Here's a quick listening guide. When something's on the fan, it's on the station you're listening to right now. If I say something's on ESPN Columbus, it's on 1460 AM and the Fan's HD2. When in doubt, stream it on the Fan app. Thank you and good night.
Wendy's new Saucy Nugs come in 7 saucy flavors. Yep, you can literally hear your taste buds going. Taste bud sounds may vary. For a whole new way to nug, gotta be Wendy's. Open till midnight or later.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, hours may vary by location.
Hey, it's Bobby. When it comes to tackling your project as important as your roof, you want a company that cares about the product and experience they're going to deliver. At Newman Roofing, you're more than just a number. They believe in 100% customer satisfaction. And for your roofing needs, give them a call at 614-NEW-ROOF or newmanroofing.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We're looking at more warm weather this afternoon. Highs in the mid-80s. Humidity stays low, meaning it will still be comfortable, but warm. Sunshine all day long. Will be clear tonight. Temperature down to around 60. Up in the upper 80s, near 90 Saturday, with mostly sunny skies. Partly cloudy, more humid, and 91 on Sunday. That's your latest 10 weather impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Reads.
Sponsored by the Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
All right, Scotty, a little Bet365 time at Bet365. We don't do ordinary. See for yourself when you sign up today, you'll get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Your Honor. I cashed on the Bears last night in a stupid, risky preseason game, but I backed it up with some weak analysis.
You know, you and I both know a little thing about bonus bets, but let's go with a college football to make the playoff parlay, which you can do because guess what? I just pulled it up and did it myself right now. And
do you like to do it yourself?
Yeah, so How
is the mood striking you now?
Well, I've got 7 teams I'm throwing into the college football playoff. Ohio State, of course. Georgia. Oregon, Texas. Those are the ones that all feel very safe, which, by the way, if you want to stop there, you can get plus 150 on that. Very, very conservative, plus 150. You know me.
On the Big Four?
Yeah, on the Big Four, just to make the playoff, Anthony. But you know me. I got to get a little bit more aggressive, make it a little bit more interesting. Penn State, who, you look at their schedule, I don't see how they lose more than 2 games. I think they'll be the 3rd Big Ten team in, so I'm throwing them in. You and I just went over Alabama. Tough schedule. Kalen DeBoer, however, very good against top 10 teams. They have the talent. I think they will be a playoff team. So I'm adding Penn State, Alabama. And then the wild card that really moves these odds, I'm grabbing Miami, Florida. You look at their schedule. You look at their talent. Cam Ward, if Cristobal doesn't screw them up this year, I think Miami wins the ACC. You throw those 7 teams in a 7-leg parlay, a 7-way feast. Anthony, you're getting 26.5 to 1. That's enticing
How
right
many
there.
teams? 6?
7 teams.
7. All right, give me the 7 now in order.
Ohio State, Georgia, Oregon, Texas. Those are the 4 that have the best odds to get in. And then I'm throwing in Alabama, Penn State, and Miami. That's your parlay right there. Let's throw 100 on it, and that would pay
$26.50.
Yeah,
right?
$27.50, including my 100 back.
Right.
Let's do it. You in? Bonus bets.
Yeah, it feels right. The Penn State, they lose to Ohio State, that's 1. If they lose at USC, they can't lose in Madison. That would hurt us bad.
Yep.
The Bama, we went through their schedule, but I think they win a tiebreaker. They'd win a 3-loss tiebreaker against most if the 3 losses are good.
And then Miami, we look through that schedule.
The odds are great. It's a fun bet. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary, as Scotty just proved to you at Bet365. Bet365, the official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Guardians. Download the Bet365 app today. You have to be 21 or older, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
I took Russell Wilson out of the pressure cooker because somebody else had put him in there and stirred him up and spit him out, and that was Stephen A. You'll hear this in a second. Russell Wilson is supposed to start the final preseason game on Saturday. I'm looking, but I shouldn't care who they actually play. They do play at Detroit. I don't know if Detroit's playing anybody in that game. They just beat Kansas City. That'll be a 1 o'clock game. And I'm a little bit interested. This sounds really personal and almost to the point where unnecessary for Stephen A. to go at Russ like this, but he did.
Russell Wilson, you're beginning to piss me off. Yeah, he did. Listen, you stunk last year. You were paid $37.8 million to go away. The Denver Broncos is willing to eat nearly $38 million to get rid of you. And you sitting there fighting for a starting job with Justin Fields. You ain't fighting for no starting job with Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson or somebody. It's Justin Fields you're starting for a job with. And he's sitting there with some smile on his face talking about, everybody needs to relax. You ain't Aaron Rodgers. You don't get to say that. You better show up. You wearing the black and gold now. You a Steeler. I said it last year. I'm going to say it again. The only damn thing good that you brought to Denver was Sierra.
That's a little unnecessary. That part was unnecessary, I think. Let's Will Smith that thing for a second. Leave his wife out of the equation. I know it's kind of a half compliment, but it's really unnecessary. Is he wrong? Probably not. But whoever put Russell Wilson at a point where you can rip him like that now? Like, he's definitely past his prime. Everybody knows that. Yes, he's paid a lot of money. And Denver had to move on and eat it. It was a horrible trip. Blame them. Don't blame Russ. He got the money. He's had a pretty decent end of the year where he wasn't throwing a lot of picks outside of that Houston game. He was a 66% passer last year with 26 touchdowns and 8 picks. It's not exactly garbage. He's not the Russ we used to know. And here's the other thing. The fact that he hasn't grabbed the job in Pittsburgh, can we give him just a little bit of help? He was injured right at the beginning of camp. He got the calf injury. You're not going to force a 35-year-old guy back into preseason so he can, quote, grab a hold of the job. I just think he's putting some weird expectations on the guy for brand reasons and name reasons and not giving him any, hey, he was probably a little better than most people think last year, and he was injured in the beginning of preseason. So it's not exactly like he was set up to succeed. It was harsh. That's who he is. Fine, his opinion. But I can poke holes in a little bit.
I can, too. Comparing with Aaron Rodgers, too, by the way. Aaron Rodgers has won Super Bowl. Russell Wilson has won Super Bowl. I did want to ask you, because we asked Brenden Deeg earlier in the show. I asked him about crystal ball. What do you think happens this season with the Steelers, with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields? I haven't gotten your take yet, Anthony. I want to know from you, how does this play out in your mind?
Should play out the opposite. Justin Fields should start no matter what happens, and they should let him have some leash until the season flops, but it's Pittsburgh, and I know they don't want to do that. But you should always go to the vet and the high floor guy, and you have to see what Justin Fields. To ask Justin Fields to, quote, rescue this season seems like, why would you heap that on him? If anything, now, they know who's ready a lot more than I do. I think Justin has a leg up because of Russell's injury, and we'll see how Russ comes through tomorrow night. But I am a little bit perplexed on why they're not leaning more into Fields, because if Fields has a future, and by the way, if you're going to pay Fields what he's going to demand, you have to find out, because if you don't, you can't pay him.
Yeah, exactly. If I'm a Steeler fan, I want to know what I have in Justin Fields. And you're not going to know that if you're waiting till very late in the season and you're really struggling at that point.
Now, saying that, I do want to see Russ go back to Denver in week 2. I do want, and I want him to win the game. I do. Yep.
Because of Sean Payton.
Yep. Yeah. Go get him. All right, we'll come back. Jensen Lewis up next. We'll toss some chin music. Where are the guards? How are they set up for this final run? We'll ask him next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
If you miss a live show, you can catch the podcast. If you miss the podcast, our hosts have volunteered to have dinner with you.
The meatloaf!
The Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. If you need a new roof, but you're not sure you can afford it, no problem. Right now, Able Roof is offering no payments, no interest until 2026 for qualified buyers. Yep, that's the same Able Roof that's been voted the #1 roofing company in Columbus by Consumer Choice Awards 22 years in a row. Want more? Able Roof will give you up to $1,000 off a new roof, siding, or windows. This is a limited time offer, so call Able Roof today.
Call Able for the proof. 444 Roof.
Experience a piece of history this September and pay tribute to those that have served in the Vietnam War. Delaware County Veterans Services invites you to visit the Wall That Heals from September 12th through the 15th at Havener Park in Liberty Township. Witness the official 3/4 scale replica of the Vietnam Memorial in Washington, D.C. The Wall That Heals is free and open to the public 24 hours a day until 2 p.m. on the 15th. For volunteering opportunities and to learn more, please visit thewallthathealsohio.com.
Scotty Vegas here for Maxima Concrete. From a basic driveway replacement to a complex in-ground pool, patio, or outdoor kitchen installation, Maxima can do it all. Pavers, natural stone, seating walls, even lighting and landscaping. Everything is in-house with Maxima, so buy from the guys that will actually perform the work. Mention 971 The Fan for $250 off your next project. Get a free estimate today by visiting MaximaConcrete.com.
Direct Auto Insurance is for uncompromisers, the people who refuse to make trade-offs in life. Like Kelly, when her old car insurance got so expensive that she couldn't afford to drive anymore, do you think she started carrying her groceries for miles? No. But she did find Direct Auto's savings that allowed her to drive instead of compromise. With savings of up to 25%, you too can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a quote today at directauto.com. Savings based on applied discounts and will vary. Terms apply. How you buy can affect price. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
Bishop and Friends.
Parents cheer. They don't boo. They don't fight other parents. They cheer. Yelling at little Timmy because he's not lined up right on the blitz. That ain't it.
Bishop and Friends.
Sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
At Kroger Pharmacy, CARE is making it easy to get vaccinated. CARE is helping you stay protected from flu, COVID, and RSV. Seasonal vaccines are available 7 days a week with evening hours. CARE is giving you a shot at staying healthy this season. Walk in whenever is best and get multiple vaccines in one visit at your local Kroger pharmacy. So come and get the protection you need while protecting those around you. Kroger Health, a world of care is in store. Visit Kroger.com/vaccines for more. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See site for details.
It's the summer sell down at Performance. Get up to $16,000 off MSRP on new 24 Jeep Wranglers and Grand Cherokees during the Make This the Summer of Jeep event. Performance, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Georgesville, and Delaware.
Not valid on previous sales. Cannot combine offers. Must take delivery from dealer stock 8/20 to 8/31/24.
When there's a United Dairy Farmers nearby, fan favorites are too. Score a set of 6 Cincinnati Reds player cups for $19.99. Ellie, Green, India, Steer, Diaz, and McLean cups only at UDF while supplies last.
And what is it called?
A ceiling fan.
And where is it?
It's on the floor.
And why is that a problem?
Well, see, the person who named it probably should have called it a floor. No, that's not right. The guy on TV I saw put up a ceiling fan.
Are you a TV star, Paul?
No, I'm not.
Are you an electrician, Paul?
I am not.
You are?
I am a middle management accountant, and I shouldn't be putting up ceiling fans.
You should.
Call the pros who knows.
Apex
Pros.
The pros who know electrical work, too. Hi, it's Alex from Apex Pros. And if you'd like us for plumbing, cooling, and heating, you're gonna love our pro electricians.
Apex Pros are on the way.
Much easier, isn't it?
I'm glad we sorted this out.
Me too.
Columbus loves the pros who knows. Schedule with one click at apexpros.com.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Crowd the plate at your own risk. It's time for some chin music with former big leaguer and president of the Bald is Beautiful fan club, Jensen Lewis.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Feeling the heat? Call the experts at Logan Services now for hot deals on Train air conditioners.
All right, that'll get you in the mood. 73 up, 54 down. First place in the AL Central. There's nothing to really trash them about, except where our expectations have gone for the Guards. This doesn't feel good, and it shouldn't to any of their fans. Outside of that awesome game on Tuesday, winning in 12 and exploding for 9 runs, this has been just a a trashy offense lately. Now, the Yanks are for real. They come home to take on Texas. Maybe they can flip the switch. Our guy is the one and only Jensen Lewis with Scotty Vegas today. My man, how you feeling?
Always good, boys. Great to be with you. And, I think you nailed it, AR. Just the offense is really priority number one as they begin this three-team homestand with Texas tonight. And really, I think this homestand goes a long way into really answering yet another adversity question. Can they get up off the mat? They had to do it after they lost the doubleheader in Minnesota. They earned the series split and the series tiebreaker for the season. And I think the same will kind of hold true after this Texas series with 4 against Kansas City in 3 days beginning on Monday. So a lot to play for here as they get underway tonight.
My boy Bybee, he deserves some run support. I know does that, from a mental standpoint, when you know you kind of have your guy, how does that go through a clubhouse a little bit on let's give our big gun some run support? I mean, is there a different motivation when you know you have him out there, or is it different when you have someone you might know is going to give up some runs, you go in there with more pressure? How do you look at it?
Yeah, I would say that the days of when we had CC out there in a Cy Young year and Corey Kluber and Shane Bieber, you think offensively you come in and you're like, oh, we just need like 3 runs and we're good because they'll take care of the rest. But at the same time, when you know your offense is struggling, it's probably more stressful for the starters saying, well, if I give up more than 2, then we could be in trouble. So for Tanner, and I think the history is on his side here where his numbers at Progressive Field in his short career have been phenomenal. And I think that's what you hang your hat on if you're this group is, all right, you get home, you got your ace on the mound, you're going up against a tough customer, Nathan Eovaldi, and Texas, really not a lot to play for anymore. They're out of the postseason race, but they always play well in Cleveland. So you have to take care of your own backyard first. And the 2 things that come to mind, AR, you got to hit with runners in scoring position, and you got to get them there. I think that's what you look at over the entirety of the road trip. Milwaukee, up and down, that pitching staff neutralized this lineup. The Yankees, basically the last 2 days, did exactly what they had to do, keep an offense down that's already frustrated. So I think tonight you kind of need a crooked number early, maybe in the first 3 innings, to have everyone take a collective deep breath and be able to get back on a good side.
All right, J-Lou, it is late August, and I love to build the futures parlays. I love to do it every month, but it is a paycheck Friday, so it is time to kind of put together a parlay, and I need some World Series winners in this parlay. So I want to build one with World Series winners, throw maybe a college football champion and a Super Bowl champion, and you get some really good odds when you do that. But I need to kind of get the best value with the baseball one. So give me kind of in order, top 3 teams you like the most to win the World Series, 1 through 3.
Yeah, and Scotty, I think the American League side is probably the most unpredictable, but if you had to hang your hat on any team, I think it's the Houston Astros. And right now, for the value, knowing that a lot of people are probably shading, more towards the Yankees' way or Baltimore's way, as far as the odds go, I think they're a perfect team to be able to begin with. I'd also throw the San Diego Padres in there on the National League side. A lot of people are going to be focused and with respect on the Dodgers and the Phillies. But I think San Diego, if you're looking for a team that could make a run, you love where they're at from a starting pitching standpoint and an offensive standpoint. I'll stay in the West, too. I think the Arizona Diamondbacks could have a lot of run. The Wild, I would say an honorable mention, if you really want to get nuts, is the Kansas City Royals. If you're looking for a surprise team, perhaps if they run down Cleveland and get a division title, but likely play in that wild card round, it feels like they're a team of destiny where they know that they're on kind of bonus time at this point. So those would be the 4 teams I'd offer. I'd say the Astros and the Royals. If you're looking for the future parlay in the American League, I'd say the Padres and the D-backs in the National League. And as far as the college football playoff goes, God, I would love maybe not a national champion, but how about Liberty to make the college football playoff? Maybe not a team, with the Royals or something like that. If you're looking for a larger payoff, I know some of the chalk in there is easy. If you're looking at Oregon, if you're looking at Ohio State, maybe Alabama as far as maybe farther down the odds board. Not going to be in that favorite with DeBoer there to start in year 1, but those would be the ones I'd start to kind of mix and match with if that's where I was going to build.
So, Jensen, last year I got so angry because I actually did have a parlay built with the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl, with Michigan to win the national championship, but I screwed up because I didn't have the Rangers. I even covered teams like the Braves, and I had the Astros and the Phillies. I thought I had everything covered. And then, of course, in baseball, you get the long shot winner with the Rangers.
And it's one of those things, too, and I'll kind of go back, Scotty, to what I said about the American League side. You can make an argument for pretty much the 6 teams that are in right now if the playoffs started today. You can make an argument for Minnesota, for Kansas City, Baltimore, New York, Cleveland, and Houston. Like, every one of those teams is not a juggernaut, per se, where they're out in front of any of the rest. And that's why I think the American League side is so up for grabs. So it's really hard. Maybe outside of Houston just because of the track record and how they're coming on as of late. But if you're looking for perhaps a Texas or an Arizona of last year that could be this year, Arizona might run it back. But I would say San Diego is in that mold. Kansas City is certainly in that mold. So I think it's going to be a fun junior side of the bracket in this postseason.
I'll take you back to the guards, my friend. And it's not like the sky is falling, but the pressure is certainly there. Because when you've been that good, when you're 58 and 37 before the break, and the hitting is kind of going, it's weird because slumping a little bit. Can you put your finger on whether the approach has been different? Are they pressing? Are they not just trying to get on base? They were an oddly good home run team early. And I'm wondering I know it's asking you to do something that maybe is too scientific and not humanalytic, as I like to say, but are they doing something different with their approach at the plate?
I would say, AR, the good old eye test tells me that a lot of guys that have played above the back of their baseball card are starting to come back to the back of their baseball card here for the last couple of weeks. And that's no dig. That's what happens through the marathon of the season. You don't know when it's going to happen. And for this club offensively, a lot of guys have had the regression happen at once. So it gets really pronounced where you might have 2 or 3 guys that are struggling, but, maybe a Naylor is carrying you or, Stephen Kwan. I mean, Stephen Kwan is an easy one to pick out of. The guy hit everything in sight, missed 4 weeks, and literally picked up without missing a beat. And so I think there's a fairness in saying, okay, their guys have really outperformed what they've done season in and season out in their major league careers. You have a lot of young hitters still that now are experiencing what it's like for the league to adjust to you. So in the short term, I think it's absolutely fair to say this homestand now takes on a real magnified interest, not only from the fan base here, but, man, I mean, you've got the most contested outside of the National League West with the Royals and the Twins just a couple of games back. This may be good. If you look at it from a glass half full standpoint, I think all 3 of these teams were playing through the finish line anyway just to get into the postseason. But now, when you look at where the records are with Houston closing the gap, every one of these teams is going to have to play through the finish line to try and get one of those 2 byes and also try and win their respective division. I think it's a blessing for them to have to go through this adversity. I mean, Texas and Arizona will tell you from last year, they were outside of the postseason picture midway through August, and they go on a run to be able to get hot and get in ultimately to the Fall Classic.
Yeah, good stuff, my man. Young team, rookie year on the job for the manager. Now the pressure's on. I agree. Now we'll find out what they're made of. First pennant race for a lot of guys. It's going to be very interesting. Thanks, my man. Have a great weekend, brother.
Likewise, boys. Talk to you next week.
That's our guy, J-Lu, former closer for the Tribe, and with us on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems bullpen phone line. That's the most important part, is that you look at this team. They've been in first place for all but like 6 days of this season. Like, now it feels like they've owned this division forever, and now they're 2 up on both those teams, Kansas City and the Twinkies. We come back and wrap it up with Tell the Truth. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Your morning just got beefier. Morning Juice with Beamer, Bobby, and Shark.
Weekdays from 6 to 9.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The delicious ice-cold taste of Dr. Pepper has a lasting effect on people. Lindsay from Sacramento said,
Pro tip, 40 degrees is the perfect temperature for an ice-cold Dr. Pepper.
Why is 40 degrees the perfect temperature for Dr. Pepper? We brought in Sue from Duluth, Minnesota to tell us.
Oh, yeah, I know a thing or two about cold. Oh, that right there is the perfect kind of ice-cold for Dr. Pepper.
I'd share that with my friend Nancy. She likes Dr. Pepper, too, you know. My whole
All
list...
right, that'll be all, Sue. Having a perfect temperature for your Dr. Pepper? It's a Pepper thing. Inspired by real fan posts.
It's Toyota's National Sales Event, the perfect time to extend your summer fun in the all-new, all-hybrid Camry. Now through September 3rd, choose 5.25 APR financing on any new 2025 Camry. Or you can lease a Camry LE for $319 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Tire Discounters announces our latest breakthrough, TD Chat BS. This software allows us to detect untruths, deceptions, and even outright lies. Let's listen in as we call a local car dealer.
Hi, I drive your model of auto or truck. I need servicing.
Oh, that's great. You should always call the dealer for service to make sure your warranty stays intact.
Untruth.
Excuse me?
I can attend at Tire Discounters for all services, even for all manufacturers' scheduled maintenance. Warranty not affected.
But it's only us dealers who really know our own models.
Deception. Tire Discounters ASE technicians are certified experts for all makes and models.
Okay, maybe.
How many dollars do you charge me for? As few as Tire Discounters?
We are not that much more.
Outright lie. Ending call now. Bye.
No,
Adios. Aloha. Hasta la pasta.
Don't miss our Savor the Summer sale, now till Labor Day.
Tita Green with Skip Mosick.
Saturday, we're at the OSU Golf Club to talk next month's Nationwide Children's Championship, plus SI's Bob Herrig from the playoffs at Castle Pines.
Tita Green with Skip Mosick, presented by X-Golf. Saturday mornings at 9 on The Fan.
Direct auto insurance is for uncompromisers. Like Matt. When his old car insurance got so expensive, do you think he walked until his sneakers wore out? No, because he found savings with Direct Auto so he could drive instead of compromise. With savings of up to 25% on state minimum coverage, you too can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a free quote at directauto.com or a store near you. Savings vary, terms apply. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
Mega Millions! The Ohio Lottery Mega Millions jackpot is up to $527 million. So I'm shouting it from my rooftop. Go play Mega Millions today. Then help me get down. And don't miss out on the excitement of Keno with 300 draws every day. Pick your numbers. Pick your wagers. Keno is always fun. Your way.
Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Hi, I'm Joanna Williams, General Manager at Tansky Sawmill Toyota, and this month 0% financing is back by popular demand on the 2024 Toyota Tundra for 48 months. But hurry in before they're gone. Visit TanskySawmillToyota.com for details. And when you think Toyota, think Tansky with approved credit, tax, title, and $250 doc fee not included. Offer ends August 30th.
Think Toyota. Think Tansky. Think Tansky.
Wake up. Breakfast. And Nature Made vitamins. Whatever your morning sounds like, Nature Made fits right in. Whether you're looking for vitamin C or a multivitamin to get key nutrients, we've got you covered. Now that's a good morning. We take care of you so you can take on your day. Start your day with Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Federal Elite Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Twin Peaks, home of the 29-degree draft beer.
All right, Scotty, do you want me to update the poll now?
Now.
Or
Let's
after?
do it.
All right, so the poll today was, what percentage chance do you give the Buckeyes to win the Natty?
You were at 50. I was at 35.
And the winner is, oh no, it's a tie.
What? A tie?
I don't know how this happened.
Somebody get one more vote in, please.
No, it's over. We ended the poll at like 2:45.
Geez.
I'll tell you what, Cole's first day producing, we're going to let him break the tie.
Good. I like it.
Our man. So the lowest was 25% or less. That was 14%. Oh, wait. I just got an update.
Oh.
Well, how did that happen?
Some late ballots.
Wait a minute. Why did
they're still counting?
It said 0 minutes left, and now it's final results. We do have a winner. It was weird. I don't know. It said 0 minutes left, and there was a tie, and now some gremlin got in there and
hey, they're still counting. Button. Someone's counting in there.
All right, so worst is 14%, 25 or less.
Which is hilarious because Vegas would tell you there's about a 22% chance of it happening.
What do they know?
Nothing.
Right. The percentage chance of winning the Natty, 26% to 49%. This is the window you fall.
That's my window.
That's 29%.
Okay.
50 to 74%, my window. 27.5. And the winner.
The crazies.
At 29.5%. 75% or higher, which I don't blame you for this at all. The Buckeyes will win the Natty.
That is a ridiculous number.
It really isn't.
It is.
Georgia exists
ridiculous.
too, folks.
Yes.
Maybe Oregon.
What was your number, Cole?
I would have been somewhere around you.
Okay.
Somewhere around the 35. I don't know.
Cole.
All right, listen. It's not what you know. It's what you can prove.
I listened to Urban Meyer and Jim Tressel, and they said this is the most talented team in the last decade and more. Why would they be that low? Anyway, there's your poll.
I don't know.
I was wrong because I didn't think Buckeye fan would want to put that much pressure on them, and it was close anyway. I thought that 50 to 74 was perfect. I believe in them, but I'm not going to put the weight of the world on them. They put the weight of the world on them. Hey, pressure makes diamonds. We'll find out. All right, my man, take us through.
All right, let's wrap it up here with a Tell the Truth. Fellas, I think we're all going to be watching Florida State and Georgia Tech in Dublin, Ireland tomorrow. But how many games would you be willing to watch tomorrow aside from that game if you did not have any money on them?
No money.
If you need a reminder of who's playing.
I know it's going to be very tough for you to put yourself in this situation.
Montana State, New Mexico. We got SMU. Quick, name that conference.
ACC.
Yeah. There you go. SMU at Nevada, so we're going out west. And then Delaware State at Hawaii, 11:59, broadcasting on Spectrum pay-per-view. Are you watching any of those games if you don't have money on them?
Spectrum pay-per-view?
No.
How about Delaware flying all the way out to Hawaii? And they had travel issues, too. But Delaware to Hawaii for a week 0 game. I will watch SMU, Nevada.
Are they getting paid?
Yeah, now the deal with yes, they are getting paid. Now the deal with that is I already do have money on it, so that kind of eliminates that question a little bit.
But if you didn't,
if I did not, I would not watch that one.
I wouldn't watch any of them outside of Florida State, Georgia Tech.
I wouldn't watch any sports.
I might. Why don't you just tell me the game you'd like to watch? None.
All right, fellas. What's your favorite job that you've ever had outside of broadcasting? Could be a summer job from high school or college. Could be an old side hustle or maybe even a previous career path. And no, you cannot say promotions. That doesn't count.
Yeah, there may be a few you don't want to admit either.
For me, I worked at a movie theater throughout high school and first couple years of college.
You were the assistant to the assistant manager.
That's exactly right. That's right. And I could start the movies up in the projection room. So that was a blast, though. Seeing all the movies before they came out, all the free popcorn. I would bring home a giant garbage bag of popcorn every single time I worked. I mean, that was awesome.
My brother did work at a caramel corn place. That was, I think, his first job in the mall.
A caramel corn
place? Caramel corn, where they made the caramel corn. Unbelievable. Yeah, he did a lot of those weird serving jobs. I never got into that. No, it's kicking back at the country club, stringing tennis rackets and teaching divorcees and kids tennis. That's it. I mean, that was what it was going to be forever. And then I thought I could always fall back on that and sell a few sweaters later in life, but that was it. Ravinia Green, Northern Chicago.
We do know that you are a good sports instructor. You've already fixed my putting, which I put out on Twitter before the show. You've completely changed my life with now my confidence level on putting is through the roof. I'm not kidding you. That changed my life.
I don't know what that's worth to me financially.
Nothing.
I just changed your life, and it's worth zip.
Well, if you ever team up with me in a golf outing or...
That's true. It's funny, when you made that putt, somebody responded on Twitter, Yeah, but it was left half. He almost pulled it. I told you about the active right hand. That's what we're trying to get rid of.
Yeah.
Would have been off the mat without the claw.
It's an 8-footer that went in the hole.
Yeah, what's the PGA? What's the tour percentage on 8-footers?
Not good.
Got to be less than 50%.
Probably.
Am I wrong?
Just say it! Just tell me the truth!
All right, I'm going to recycle one that I used a little bit earlier in the week, but neither of you two are here. So as far as you guys are concerned, this is fresh material. In honor of Jennifer Lopez, my celebrity crush, filing for divorce from Ben Affleck, I think I got to move on. She's a total man-eater at this point, not really my type anymore. So I need some suggestions. Who was your childhood celebrity crush?
Hall & Oates, she's a man-eater?
Yeah.
By the way, from 10 feet, the pros' one-putt percentage is 40%.
That's 10. We were 8.
I know. They didn't give me an 8. They gave me 77% on 5-footers.
I'll give you mine. It was Anna Kournikova. Tennis star, superstar. Well, maybe not necessarily the best tennis player, but oh my gosh, did I love Anna Kournikova.
You would have dropped gloves with Sergei Fedorov?
I mean, unbelievable. That stretch. You know, she got to the point where she got ranked.
That's stretch. Easy. That stretch.
And, yeah, big fan. Huge fan.
I would say, what's a tough one? Probably 80s into the 90s. I'd say Michelle Pfeiffer would probably be right in there for me as the celebrity crush back in the old Grease 2 days and beyond. What about you?
Well, I think I'm moving on to Kelsey Ballerini. She's a younger person. She's about my age, maybe a little bit older. She might be about 30 at this point, but she's a country singer. She does it for me. Her, maybe Rita Ora. Everybody's in on Sydney Sweeney now. She's a big actress. I'm not as into her as everybody else is because she's kind of like a pop culture icon now, but she's in the top 3.
Here's the good news for you as I bring up her wiki page really fast. It looks like she did get divorced a couple years ago.
I know, but she's back now with somebody from the show Outer Banks, I think, so I think I'm out.
Outer Banks was a good show.
All right.
And we will wrap it up there.
And I'm looking at a half-empty bottle of Cavatier, which means that we are just about out of time.
Absolutely. All right, Vegas, we need Florida State to come through from a half my parlay with the Bears last night.
Yeah,
that's just money line. Just money line.
Safe.
Just win, baby.
We've got our parlay of teams to make the playoff. 7-way, 26-1.
Thanks for coming in, my man.
Oh, so much fun.
Next week's going to be great.
And thanks for fixing my putting.
For now.
Yeah.
Until it doesn't work, and then you're going to come back to the doctor, and we'll figure it out. All right, Cole, great job, man.
Thank you.
For your rookie voyage here. Common Man and Tebow next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
This promo is brought to you by Common Man and Timmy Hall's ping pong game. The Fan. This is a Fan Action Update.
A look at some NFL season-long player props. For most regular season passing yards this year, Patrick Mahomes is the favorite at 6-1. Second in the odds is C.J. Stroud at 7-1. Jared Goff and Dak Prescott are tied for the third best odds at plus 950. Joe Burrow is 13-1 at the most regular season passing yards. Russell Wilson 47-1. Deshaun Watson 48-1. For your action update, I'm Scotty Vegas.
Right now at the Ram, make this the summer event. Well-qualified lessees get a low-mileage lease on the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab, 4x4 for $549 a month for 42 months, with $3,640 due at signing. Tax, title, license extra, no security deposit required. Call 1-877-RAM-5722 for details. Requires dealer contribution and lease through Stellantis Financial. Extra charge for miles over 35,000. Not all customers will qualify. Residency restrictions apply. Take delivery by September 3rd, 2024.
Get your air conditioner fixed fast. Call Care Heating and Cooling, 1-800-COOLING.
People can't say enough amazing things about Vanscoy Hair Clinics. Men and women struggle with hair loss every day, and they completely change their lives. Vanscoy Hair Clinics is the only company in Ohio that has PRP, platelet-rich plasma, and the multi-unit hair grafting hair transplant procedure. Go to vanscoyhair.com for more info, or call 614-432-8042. Here's what some of their hair transplant clients have said.
Around 26, 27, I lost almost all of my hair on top. It changed my life in ways that I cannot imagine.
imagine. My hair is going to continue growing for the rest of my life.
There is hope that you can do something about your hair loss.
Multi-unit hair grafting gives you 3 times more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Hair transplants are more affordable than ever, and PRP is a fast, easy, and effective 45-minute treatment for thinning or damaged hair. Call Van Scoy for a free consultation, 614-432-8042, or visit vanscoyhair.com. That's 614-432-8042. Find out what procedure will restore your hair.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. If you need a new roof, but you're not sure you can afford it, no problem. Right now, Able Roof is offering no payments, no interest until 2026 for qualified buyers. Yep, that's the same Able Roof that's been voted the #1 roofing company in Columbus by Consumer Choice Awards 22 years in a row. Want more? Able Roof will give you up to $1,000 off a new roof, siding, or windows. This is a limited time offer, so call Able Roof today.
Call Able for the proof. 444-ROOF.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone for Valley Ford of Columbus. If you're looking for a great pre-owned vehicle, a massive selection of low-mileage trade-ins are waiting for you at Valley Ford. They're certified pre-owned Ford Blue Advantage cars, trucks, and SUVs at unbelievable prices. Get the better deal at Valley.